was a memorable night last night at Target Field. Twins fans showing up tonight hoping for more of the same as the Twins and Orioles get set for Game 2 of their 4-game series. We're happy to have Roy Smalley filling in for Bert Blyleven tonight. I'm Dick Bramer. It was a memorable night last night. A Target Field record 19 runs scored. Now, hitters and hitting coaches talk about using the whole field and hitting the ball where it's pitched, and it seems like that's exactly what the Twins hitters did last night.
Well, the whole team did that, but one guy in particular is Justin Morneau, who has struggled when he has struggled in the past. He has gone to using the opposite field, and both of these guys right now, Justin Morneau and Trevor Plouffe, are on 14-game hitting streaks, and it's because they've started using the whole field. Justin especially, we've seen this before, when he struggled a little bit, he consciously goes to left. We see 17 of his 21 hits during this 14-game hitting streak to center and left field, the opposite field. Last night, he got a ball up and away from him his first time up, lined it down the left field line for a double. That was a big at bat. It kind of got him going. Then he got a ball he likes down and in. He ripped it into right field for a single. He's feeling so good by this time he takes a ball on the outside part of the plate and hooks it into right center for another double. Trevor Plouffe the same way. If we look at the hot zone chart where Trevor struggles, it's the ball down and away as much as anything. That's where they were trying to pitch him last night, and Trevor responded, getting the balls out over the plate and down, going with the ball into right field, not trying to pull it. There was a base hit, and then here a fastball down that 220 hot zone spot. He ripped a double to right center. That is the mark of really good hitters, getting themselves back into a groove. And you'll see Justin especially, once he gets that groove, using the whole field, the pull hits will start coming, and that's when the power starts coming.
What are we doing talking about hitting with 19 runs? The tone of the game might have been set with some great defense for the Twins, particularly in the outfield. We'll come back and talk more about that in a moment. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards.
A beautiful hot summer night here in downtown Minneapolis. The Twins are going to try to defeat the Baltimore Orioles for the second straight time in this 4-game set on Fox Sports North. I'm Robbie Mikowski. Thanks for tuning in. Well, Ben Revere in his short time here in a Minnesota Twins uniform has provided us with some memorable moments out there on defense, and perhaps his two best catches came against the Orioles. Who can forget this one last year against Vladimir Guerrero, upside down going into the center field wall. Unbelievable catch by Ben Revere. And last night with Adam Jones at the plate thinking he's going to get an extra base hit, Ben Revere just lays out. What an unbelievable grab that was. Ben Revere has been outstanding, and earlier he discussed his aggressive defense and his approach out there in the outfield.
Kind of feel like Superman for a good 2 seconds. No, it's fun. Making really diving catches. Like I said, it makes you look like a competitor. You taking nothing for granted. Just go out there trying to help your defense, trying to help your pitching. Trying to get it out for your team. I've been doing that since I was a little kid. My dad always told me it's like, you're gonna play sports, you go 110% no matter what.
So we'll see what Ben Revere has in store for us tonight. When we come back, it's Samuel DeJuno making his second big league start, and it's coming your way next with Dick and Roy on Fox Sports North.
After an historically good night at the plate for Justin Morneau and the Twins take the field here tonight for Game 2, hoping for a good night against Jim Thome and the Baltimore Orioles. Buck Showalter suffered through a miserable night on the other side, and he'll answer with this Menards batting order. Nick Markakis in the leadoff spot. J.J. Hardy hitting second. Then Jim Thome, Adam Jones, Matt Wieters, Mark Reynolds, Chris Davis, Wilson Benamite, and Ryan Flaherty.
And that batting order will go up against young Samuel DeJuno. making his second start of his big league career, his first here at Target Field. Young man with a pretty good fastball and potentially a knee-buckling curveball when it's on. We'll see if he can throw those pitches over for strikes, because that curveball's a good one.
Northland's forward defense for the Twins, the same as last night. Willingham, Span, and Revere across the outfield. Kloof, Dozier, Carroll, and Morneau the infielder. Joe Mauer back behind the plate. And Nick Markakis, the only bright spot for the Orioles last night. He and Mark Reynolds each had 3 hits. And Markakis, just a handful of at-bats on the season, stands in to get things started tonight. First pitch fouled back. It's a low 90s fastball for Deduno, the big curve that you talked about. And the key for Deduno would be, of course, to hit his spots and stay ahead of the hitters.
He's able to stay ahead and throw both of those pitches for strikes. He can be really tough. That's good enough stuff for sure.
First curve is wild. Deduno held his own against a really good Texas lineup. Got into the 6th inning, gave up a couple of home runs, but when he checked out, just 3 earned runs allowed. And again, against that lineup, that's not so bad in your first major league start.
You bet. I think that's very good.
Down and in, and it's 2-1.
One thing that you'll see young players at any position, but especially a young pitcher, first start against a home crowd, only a second big league start. The curveball, it figures to be the one that he might struggle for a release point just a little bit.
3-1 with J.J. Hardy on deck.
He'll be amped up a little bit. He'll try to overthrow it, and not try to, but he'll end up overthrowing it with the adrenaline rushing. So
up the middle, off the mound, and it skips into center field. So Markakis gets his 4th hit of the series. Started the ball game with a single last night. A little cooler than it was last night, just by a couple of degrees, but still 90 degrees. And it's supposed to be a little bit cooler again tomorrow and Thursday. Then to Kansas City, where the temperatures are supposed to be in the upper 90s to 100. Here is J.J. Hardy. Drew a walk in the first inning last night. And it looked like the Orioles were going to be the team putting up a crooked number in the first inning. Strike one. Scott Diamond got out of a first inning jam and then saw the Twins put up 7 runs in the first inning.
Good defense can really ignite your club offensively too, and it really looked like that happened last night with a great play by Revere and a really good double play turn.
Foul back. One thing we saw from Deduno, and Ron Gardenhire said that when they saw him in spring training, they liked how athletic he was. He fielded his position well. He made a nice play coming home on a pitch that was in the dirt. They got a runner out at the plate with him covering home plate. And he also started, Deduno did, 2 double plays, 2 ground ball double plays.
Such an important part of pitching that's overlooked is how well you field your position.
Nice block by Mauer. Well, it doesn't sound like much, but you see the play screwed up so many times. The comebacker to the mound, we saw it in the Oakland series. The throw from the pitcher to second base is on target. J.J. Hardy laying off the curve in the dirt.
And a real good block by Joe there. A good example of Deduno overthrowing the curveball just a little bit. It's got good bite on it, but it was just overthrown a little bit. Really good block by Joe. That was not an easy block.
1-2 to Hardy. I think you can. Oh, that ball gets by Morneau. And Markakis will go to second and stride for third. So a 2-base throwing error charged to Deduno. It looked like the throw was across the runner and out of Morneau's reach.
Yeah, not much chance for Justin there. Good football thrown into the runner. We were just talking about fielding your position. The other part of important part of pitching that's not pitching related is holding runners on. And you're going to hold them on. You got to throw strikes over there too.
Infield back and a little. On a blustery evening here, has room. One down. Markakis bluffs down the line, and a big and potentially big first out. The Twins were conceding a run on a ground ball, but Hardy hit it up in the air. And a muted round of applause for Jim Thome, only because this is his 4th farewell tour through Target Field here. We thought when he left the Twins that was the end of it. He came through here late last year with the Indians, came through here a few weeks ago with the Phillies. Now he's with the Orioles. Strike on the outside corner. Thome has hit 5 home runs this year. All 5 are with the Phillies, but 2 of them were here at Target Field.
And bombs they were.
Of course, he hit home runs, a lot of them here at Target Field as a Twin. He hit 1 last year as a member of the Cleveland Indians here. 1 in Cleveland. 2 here with the Phillies. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. Duno trying to pitch around this situation in the first. The Orioles have been struggling, and one of their areas they've been struggling in is getting hits with men in scoring position. They failed them in the first inning last night. 1 and 2 to Thome. Checked his swing, 2 and 2. That's a quicker breaking ball, right? That's you can call that the slider, and then he's got the big 12-6 breaking ball.
Exactly right. And sometimes you don't know. Sometimes a young man like this will throw his curveball so hard it looks like a slider. But that was a nasty pitch, and I mean that in a positive sense. That was a great take by Thome. A lot of left-handers would have swung and missed that ball.
That kicks away from Mauer, and Markakis will score. So another pitch in the dirt, and Mauer, who made a great block a few pitches ago, couldn't block this one, and the Orioles score first. So a single, an error on the pitcher, now a wild pitch.
I think he tried to throw a little changeup or something there. And Joe has no chance, and pitcher's got to stay out of the way of that runner coming in with his spikes first there. There was no chance, and he almost got his leg clipped there.
Full count to Thome. Foul and out of play. Well, Duno made this play in Texas, but there was no chance for a throw here, and you're right, Markakis with his spikes flying nearly got him in the ankle. Another 3-2 and a foul. Duno pitched well in Rochester, but Twins skeptics will say, well, so did Liam Hendricks. And the hope is that Duno can, instead of following Hendricks' pattern so far, more closely follow the path of Scott Diamond. Bring the success you had at AAA up here. And Thome takes ball 4. Adam Jones will hit now with 1 on and 1 out.
Manager Ron Gardenhire thinking about looking at his youngster out on the mound, thinking if he'll only throw that stuff over consistently. And Jim Thome showing the young man an awful lot of respect. Got a 3-2 fastball, was very late on it out of respect for that good curveball he had seen, even though he hadn't seen it for a strike. So you know the young man's got some pretty good stuff. I can tell by the way Thome was going at some of those pitches or taking some of those pitches, but you got to throw it over.
from up here, and I think maybe viewers who watch from the center field camera can tell, there isn't much this guy throws that's straight. Everything has some movement on it. That part's good, but you've still got to be able to find a way to throw it over the plate. Two and 0. Blaze orange. Footwear of Adam Jones. 2 and 0. Now up high, 3 and 0. 20 pitches for DeDuno, only 9 strikes. Matt Wieters on deck.
Boy, for a team that's, when you're facing a team that's not swinging the bat well, you can't walk guys and go 3-0. You just every count that you get a hitter in that puts the hitter ahead in the count just makes that hitter a little bit better. This Baltimore Oriole team has been struggling to score runs, been really struggling hitting with men in scoring position. And if you allow them to get there without getting hits to get there, it's really, really trouble.
And now strike 2. One in, one on, one out. And Thome won't be going anyplace on this 3-2 pitch. There he goes. Bounce to third. Bloof looked at second. They might have still had a play, but in sending Thome, the Orioles stayed out of a potential double play. Surprised they sent Thome, but Buck Showalter sent the veteran. 2 away with Thome at second.
I thought that was a good call on your part, Dick. I think that's a dangerous call to send Jim Thome there. Adam Jones, Buck Walter decided that Adam Jones was going to be able to either put the bat on a strike or take ball 4. And that's a reasonable gamble with a guy that's like Jim Thome, was in his home run trot on that steal.
Strike 1 to Wieters. Well, now you've advanced Thome to second base, and still it's not a sure thing at all that he'd score on a hit from to the outfield. Outside 1-1. Wieters won the Gold Glove last year behind the plate, taking Joe Mauer's string of Gold Gloves away or terminating it. That'll be one of the challenges for Joe in regaining the Gold Glove, is catching enough to merit consideration by the coaches and managers who do the voting. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. Be the 27th pitch for DeDuno in the first inning. One blocked by Mauer. 2 and 2. It's been what, the 3rd or 4th pitch already in the dirt with men on base that Joe's had to try to block.
Just having trouble finding the command of his breaking ball here in the first inning. He has shown, as you mentioned, Dick, fastball got a lot of movement. Pitching coach Rick Anderson is a devotee of saying, when a guy got this kind of movement, his fastball, set up for the low middle of the strike zone. Let your movement take care of itself. You don't have to try to throw the ball in the corner either corner when the ball moves that much. It'll go there of its own accord.
Sails wide, 3 and 2. Even though Scott Diamond last night in the first couple of innings didn't seem as sharp as we've seen him, or as sharp as we saw him later on in the game last night. He got the Twins off the field pretty quickly. This has been the longest inning for a Twins pitcher. There's a drive deep to the left field corner, twisting toward the seats, and out of play. It's been the longest inning for a Twins pitcher in this series. So this will be pitch number 30 now.
Yeah, and you can make a case that Ben Revere had as much with getting his pitcher off the field last night as Diamond did. Diamond did a nice job after the terrific catch by Revere, coming back and getting a double play ground ball, and that really settled him down. And it was back to the old Scott Diamond. We'll hope that DeDuno can get out of this inning and then get his command back next time.
Off the plate, and now Wieters draws the second walk of the inning. Rick Anderson will make a trip to the mound.
Pitch outside, just off the plate, down and away. Good try to get the outside corner. Curveball just missed, but again, when you're wild like that, as we see Rick Anderson in a quick trip to the mound, when you haven't shown command, the hitters aren't as likely to swing, and the umpire is not as likely to call close pitches. We've seen a couple of pitches fairly close call to ball. And if he were throwing strike after strike, he'd get those pitches. When you're around outside the zone consistently, the umpires just get out of the habit of raising that right arm. They just don't. I don't think they mean to do it. It's just the way I've seen it my whole career watching baseball. Another reason why, as a pitcher, you have everything to gain by just pounding that strike zone.
Well, the Oriole hitters were less patient last night with Scott Diamond because he had established a history of throwing strikes, of getting ahead of hitters. DeDuno doesn't have that history. A lot of long counts, and that pitch misses. Ball one to Reynolds. 2 walks so far. Reynolds hit a 3-run home run last night against Scott Diamond. Bouncer to short. Dozier goes to Carroll, and that takes care of business in the first. A long one, but the Orioles score just 1 run. As it is, DeDuno struggling with his control, but he comes off the mound just behind 1-0. And Denard Span will lead things off for the Twins, hoping to get that run, maybe more back. The Menard batting order has Span leading off, then Revere and Mauer, Josh Willingham, Justin Morneau, Trevor Plouffe, Ryan Doumit, Brian Dozier, Jamie Carroll.
And they'll be opposing young Zach Britton, making his 2012 debut after pitching pretty well, I think, leading the Orioles in victories last year at 11-11. In the minor leagues this year, 5-1. before getting called up here to pitch the Twins.
Northland Ford defense for the Orioles, and they've not been a very good defensive ball club at all this year. Chris Davis, Adam Jones, Nick Markakis, the outfielders. Benamite, Hardy, Flaherty, Reynolds, the infielders, Matt Wieters behind the plate. Orioles committed a costly error last night. 6 unearned runs scored on the Reynolds first inning error. The Orioles lead the major leagues with 78 errors committed. And now tonight, the Twins commit the first error, and it leads to an Oriole run. Span takes up an in-ball 1.
Well, if anybody's wondering why the Orioles have been struggling so much in the last 20 or 25 games, you look at league-leading errors, a starting rotation in a little bit of a shambles, and can't hit with runners in scoring position. That is kind of the makeup of a tough streak.
2-0 to Span. The Orioles aren't pitching particularly well, but they are pitching better than they did last year. The Twins have had the worst team ERA in the American League most of this season. Last year, the Orioles held that title. They've gotten a little bit better in that department, but not in the field. It's been at times an embarrassment. And a 4-pitch walk to start the ball game.
Well, that stuff that we saw from the Orioles pitching staff to start the year was real stuff. I mean, that wasn't a fluke. Hamels was good. Arrieta was really good. That was real stuff. But they've had some injuries and gotten a little inconsistent in the starting rotation. But it basically has been a question about defense and hitting and scoring enough runs.
Here's Ben Revere with Span aboard. Revere with a 4-hit night last night and a great catch in the outfield. There's a strike. They were talking about the injuries to the pitching. Britton got caught up in that. He had a left shoulder problem that shut him down for the first couple of months, then pitching in the minor leagues and finally getting the call up to make his debut here tonight. Swing and a miss and a weak one at that. 0-2. Tomorrow the Orioles are going to call up Tommy Hunter to make the start against the Twins. He's had some injury issues. Two strikes to Ben Revere. Revere with 4 hits and 2 ground ball outs last night. That's about as close to a perfect night for Ben Revere as you're going to find. 6 plate appearances, and he didn't pop up or fly out once.
That's what he needs to do to be successful, obviously, is do everything he can to get his speed into the game as quickly as possible. And that means hit the ball on the line. If you're not going to hit it on the line, hit it on the ground.
Span checked it first. Bounce to short. Hardy flips to second and a double play. So a ground ball hit right at Hardy, and a 6-4-3 double play makes it 2 away now in the first. Last night it was Joe Mauer. A few weeks ago it was Jim Thome. A destructive home run in terms of the Flowers here at Target Field.
A couple of landscape artist nightmares here. Thome and Joe hitting the ball in the Flowers. Watch this. Guy will get the baseball, but tears them up by the roots trying to get it. And Thome's was so high when it came down, it buried itself down under the roots of those plants.
Mauer taking a strike that covers the inside corner. Now that ball, career home run number 607, is still sitting in Ron Gardenhire's office. It has not been presented to Thome yet. It is being held hostage, if you will. Ron Gardenhire says he doesn't want any money for it. He just wants Jim to come over and beg for it.
Right, right. He's going to extract some kind of flesh from Jim Thome in order for him to get that ball back. And Gardy will love every second of that too.
1-1 to Mauer. Ripped to the gap in left center, down for a hit. Mauer rounds first. He'll turn for second. And he's in with a double. So Mauer continues to sting the baseball. 2 hits last night and an early one tonight.
Well, this is just classic Joe right here. We showed the hot zone last night. You don't pitch him in the middle of the zone on the inside part of the plate. He's just got too quick a hands and too good an approach not to hit that ball. You're going to see singles and doubles on that pitch all the time.
Now Willingham facing the left-hander Zach Britton. And a breaking ball over. Willingham's batting average against left-handers is fairly modest, 274. He's hitting 271 overall. It's his slugging percentage. Slugging 786 against left-handers. A dozen home runs in 84 at bats. 1-1.
Right, I was going to mention a home run every 7 times up or so against left-handed pitching. And it would figure to be the case with this guy because, as we talked about last night, just kind of an old-fashioned power overhand country hardball power hitter. Wants the ball in, is going to get the big end of the bat out, and a left-hander, the ball comes into him. With a right-hander, he's trying to get the ball in, but the ball will break away, and he's got to defend against that. He doesn't have to do that nearly as much with left-handers because the ball their breaking balls tend to break into him anyway. So,
a couple of breaking balls taken for strikes, 1 and 2. Taken up high, 2 and 2. Willingham checked his swing just in time.
Yeah, and pretty close pitch. It looked like the umpire wanted to call a strike for a minute. He backed away like he was going to ring him up and then didn't.
2 and 2 to Willingham. Tying run at second, 2 away. Checked his swing again. 3 and 2.
He has an amazing ability to do that. Very strong man. You watch right here from the side. He starts to go, and then he has the ability to hold that left wrist. Watch his left forearm and left wrist, how it just stops the bat right there. His right hand wants to go, but he has the ability to check it. That's strong right there.
Full count. Hit hard on 2 hops to Betamine. Over to Reynolds, and that ends the inning. 1 complete. And it's 1-0 Baltimore. of the GMC keys to the game, utilizing what Scott Diamond utilized last night.
Absolutely. This is especially important for a young man like Samuel DeDuno making his first home start. Throw the ball over, put it in play, let your defense do things like this. Key to the game for Samuel DeDuno. Let these guys work for you.
And Span and company ready to do that. DeDuno needs to throw more strikes. Had a long first inning, 6 batters faced, 32 pitches thrown, only half of them strikes. It'll be the bottom third of the Baltimore lineup. Chris Davis, Wilson Benameat, and Ryan Flaherty. Strike one. Davis in left field. We've seen him at first base. We even saw him on the mound earlier this year. Orioles had one of those games. It was against Boston. All the pitchers had been used. Davis pitched not 1, but 2 innings and got the win. On the outside corner, 1-2. In the game as a hitter, he went 0 for 8 with 5 strikeouts. But he got the W. He's got as many wins as Cliff Lee right now.
He must have had some premonition he was going to get in the game as a pitcher and just started out hitting like one.
1-2. Benameat on deck. And now 2-2. Seems like every other batter's been up there with a 3-2 count. 5 out of the 7 at bats have run to 3-2. And an off-speed pitch, tap foul. Away. I think we saw a little bit of this with DeDuno in Texas. It's a very small sample size, but the ability to get to 2 strikes and then unable to put, in the case of his last start, the Texas hitters or the Baltimore hitters here tonight, put him away on strikes. Tries the curve and it misses by 1.5 feet, a leadoff walk. Benameat will hit next this week on Fox Saturday Baseball. Paul Konerko and the AL Central leading White Sox go to Detroit. It'll be a big battle with Detroit red hot right now. They're getting thumped right now by the Angels 7-0. With Prince Fielder and the Tigers in pursuit of the White Sox. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Budweiser begins at 2:30 Central on Fox. Benameat the batter. Twins will be in Kansas City this weekend, hoping to get out of last place in their division. Royals got another poor start. They designated for assignment today Jonathan Sanchez. So they'll have 10 days to trade him, and if they don't release him, somebody might pick him up. He's been very, very disappointing for the Royals this year. 1-0 to Benameat. 1-1. Not sure who the Royals started tonight. They were supposed to go with Everett Tiefer, but he had to come out of the bullpen yesterday because Sanchez couldn't make it through the 2nd inning. 1-1.
The young man is just, Samuel DeDuno, really battling his mechanics, his release point, his ability to command the strike zone at all with either pitch. He throws about every other fastball over, it looks like, but he just has not found the strike zone with that breaking ball. It's been a long inning plus so far, but it's going to be a short night if he can't get that curveball over.
That's just wide of the bag, a foul ball. Yeah, he must have at this point, but it doesn't seem like he has thrown back-to-back strikes. 45 pitches, 23 strikes. And now 2-2 to BAL AT MIN. Changed up on him a little bit. And got another foul ball.
Yeah, that was a changeup and not a bad pitch. I'm anxious for him to find that command of his curveball. We have not seen the curveball that we saw in Texas, where he was literally buckling good hitters' knees with a breaking ball. We haven't seen any pitch anywhere close to the curveball he had in Texas.
2-2 again. Double play ball. Carroll to Dozier, over to Morneau. Took a while, but he got a ground ball double play, 2 away. As the ground ball to J.J. Hardy was a tailor-made double play in the first inning for the Twins. This one hit right at Jamie Carroll.
About as good as it gets. A 2-hopper, short hop right there, flip over, very comfortable double play.
Here's Ryan Flaherty taking strike 1. Flaherty, a Rule 5 pickup, has been with the Orioles and needs to stay with them through the 2012 season as a Rule 5 draftee. Swing and a miss. And he'll get a chance now to play at second base. Brian Roberts was out for a while with a concussion issue. Then he came down with a hip problem. He's done for a while. Robert Andino diagnosed with a slightly separated shoulder. He's going to miss 3 to 4 weeks, and Flaherty's gone on 3 pitches.
Leadoff hitter this inning, Justin Morneau, had a big night last night, spraying the ball all over the field. But in particular, timing was very good for Justin. He was able to hit some balls to left field, center field, and hook a pitch that he got out and away from home plate yesterday. And when you see Justin swing the bat and he's on time, you really know he's getting locked in. And guys, you'll see some swings that he took last night that the pitch is down and away, and he's able
Wow, Justin Morneau tried to bunt for a hit. Yeah. I almost fell out of my chair.
That sound you heard was Coombs' jaw hitting his chest.
Hey, Roy, when you got 4 hits the night before, did you bunt your first?
I'm telling you, you know what? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You got to keep swinging.
Guys, forget everything I just said.
There's a pop-up behind second base. Hardy backpedaling. You don't see this very often.
But, Dick, I have to tell you, the one thing, if you're going to bunt, watch how in a hurry he gets. He's going to run right now. He doesn't have to. The third baseman is playing him at shortstop. And that's the reason. I mean, they were giving him a hit. He could have squared around Coombs like he was sacrificing and pushed a ground ball to the third baseman at third base position and walked down to first because Bettermeat, the third baseman, is playing him at shortstop on the shift.
Roy, I think that just comes with lack of practice.
Well, that's it. You know what that is, Coombs? That's the hit god saying you're not going to get a bunt hit after 4 hits last night. Sorry.
Morneau retired. Plouffe will try to extend his hitting streak with 1 gone here in the second. Down and away. Plouffe with a couple of hits last night. Pitches away from him that he took to the opposite field. Swings through a breaking ball. 1-2. And Plouffe with a .290 average against lefties with another very high slugging percentage. That's up the line and fumbled by Britton. And Plouffe will extend his hitting streak with a ball that traveled 30 feet.
You got to love those when you get them. Those are some of my favorite hits.
The hit gods?
The hitting guys, right. You know, you have to appease them. You can't do things incorrectly or it's trouble.
Well, they're smiling down on Trevor right now.
Right. Well, he's doing things correctly. Taking the ball outside, hit it the other way. You know, he's trying to do everything right. Justin just made him a little bit angry, maybe. Just getting 4 hits the night before and then trying to bunt the first time up.
Here's Ryan Doman with Plouffe at first and 1 away. Down and in, ball 1. Well, Britton has faced 6 batters. Half of them have reached. Span walked on 4 pitches. Lauer drilled a double, and now Plouffe's number for an infield hit. 1-0 to the Twins' designated hitter. Swing and a miss. Robinson Cano with a 19-gamer. Plouffe now has expanded his to 15. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Change up there got Ryan Doman way out in front. Another hitter like Plouffe and Willingham who want to go up to the plate, wanting to pull the ball if he can, looking for a ball in, something he can pull. And that changeup looking like a fastball. You jump out there on fastball speed and can't stop. Sometimes he'll try to protect wait a little bit longer. Try to come back with that changeup to get him again. Wasn't as good a pitch, A, and B, Ryan protecting a little bit. They're watching the ball just a little bit longer, not cheating on a fastball, but really waiting to see what the pitch is.
Dug out by Wieters. It's 2-2.
You will see Ryan Doman get a lot of changeups because everybody knows the book on him. He wants to pull the fastball, and that will make you vulnerable to changeups. Again, that's because if you want to pull the fastball, you have to hit a 90+ mile-an-hour pitch with the bat head out in front of the plate, which is then when you get a changeup and it's 10 miles an hour faster and you get started for 92 and it's 82 or 94 and it's 84, then you're way out in front and can't stop. Now he's got to wait, let the ball get back deeper on the plate so he can identify it.
Crack to left. Got the fastball and scalded it to left field. First and second, one out.
Waited a little bit longer, identified the fastball, got it up in the zone, and was able to hook it into left field for a base hit.
And on those replays, you can see the point of contact is well in front of the plate.
Right, and you can see him even spinning just a little bit to start his body turning to get the bat out there. And that's another reason. Once you start your body turning like that, if the pitch is a little slower than you expected, or a changeup speed slower, it's really hard to stop.
Here's Dozier. And he tries to drop down a bunt. One strike.
If we look at Ryan Doman right here from the side, watch his body start to spin out right there. If that ball's 8 miles an hour slower changeup, you see he wants to hit it right out in front of him. If that ball's 8 miles an hour slower, that spin of his body is going to be hard to stop, and that's why you see guys out in front so much of that changeup. That's body being at fastball speed and not being able to slow it down and adjust to changeup speed. So a little bit lucky there that the pitcher came back with a fastball up and in the middle of the plate.
One strike to Dozier. Fastball down and away, a swinging strike two.
That right there is an example, swinging at what would have been a ball to even the count at 1-1. That's something this young man really needs to get better at. He's working with Joe Vavra on that. Trevor Plouffe could use a little bit of improvement in that area too. They're going to be so much better when they lay off tough pitches and get themselves ahead in the count more often.
Chopper to short. Hardy flips it to second. That's all they'll get. Plouffe dances down the line, and Reynolds actually dumped that low throw out, keeping Plouffe at third base. If he mishandles it in any way, Plouffe, I think, was going to head home.
Good play by JJ, actually getting the lead runner. He charges it real well, gets the short hop and goes to second to get that lead runner, which is a good play by the shortstop. Doman trying to take the runner out with a little forearm shiver there on the left ankle.
Here's Carroll. The Twins need a 2-out hit here to get the game time. Maybe a wild pitch, anything to get Plouffe in from third. And Carroll with a couple of hits last night. Reached 4 times, also walked a couple of times, and he takes a first pitch breaking ball, strike one.
I mentioned last night what I really like about Jamie Carroll's approach at the plate is he'll make a pitcher throw an awful lot of pitches if the pitcher will do so. And by that I mean he will not swing at tough pitches. He doesn't swing at balls. So there.
It's up the line and just barely foul. Britton turned out, made a smart play, but almost looked like part of that ball was still on the baseline.
Real good play right here. You got to get to that ball so it doesn't roll back. And it almost did. You're right, Dick. If it's touching that line when he picks it up, it's a fair ball. They're not going to get Jamie at first base. Their only hope is that they can get to it and make sure it's foul. And he does a good job of that. It was just foul.
So 2 strikes to Carroll. So a number to the other side. And Britton fires on a close play. Carroll's retired. Good play by Britton. The Twins strand 2. It's still 1-0.
Tuesday. You can submit your questions on Twitter using the hashtag #AskATwin. Tonight's guest was Josh Willingham, and Brian Horwath asked him, Josh, who's your favorite player growing up?
Definitely favorite player was Cal Ripken. I played shortstop growing up and watched him and just admired how he played the game and how he carried himself, so that was an easy one.
Easy one and a very popular answer. Cal Ripken Jr., born and raised in Aberdeen, Maryland, close by to Baltimore within about a 30-minute drive. So just as Joe Mauer is here to Twins fans, Cal Ripken is, in terms of being the hometown hero, growing up and making good with the local team. Same thing for Cal Ripken in Baltimore.
Thank you, Robbie. Up and away, ball one to Nick Markakis. No, I'm not on Twitter, and Roy, I don't believe you are, so I'll just ask you over the air. You grew up Southern California. Who was your boyhood idol, baseball-wise?
That's a tough question for me, Dick, and I'll tell you why. My uncle is Gene Mock, been in the major leagues as a player manager for his whole life. My dad played in the big leagues for 10 years, so I really kind of idolized my immediate family members, and so after that, I just loved baseball and baseball players.
That'll go through, and Markakis has his 5th hit of the series. They've all been singles.
And especially hitters. I've always, as you know, I like hitting and hitters.
Right.
And I will tell you this: I had 5 posters up in my bedroom when I was growing
Raquel
up.
Welch was one.
No, this is under the category
baseball.
of Smalley Get a Life.
Oh, okay,
I had
all right.
Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Henry Aaron, Tony Oliva, and Harmon Killeby.
Is that right?
2 foot by 3 foot posters on my wall of those guys.
Here's J.J. Hardy. I had 5 posters up in my room, too. We don't need to go into who they were. 1 strike to Hardy. Fouled out to Morneau his first time up, and Hardy in the throes of a terrible slump. 4 hits and 59 at bats. Inside 1-1. Leadoff man has reached in all 3 innings against Markakis. Against DeDuno, rather, I should say. Markakis with a pair of hits, and then Davis drew a leadoff walk in the 2nd. Foul back, heading our way. One and 2. Flaherty struck out on 3 pitches to wrap up the 2nd inning. What you'd like to see DeDuno do is drop the hammer on Hardy or get a fastball by somebody here to strike out somebody in the middle of their lineup. Instead, Hardy on a 1-2 pitch drills a single to left. So a pair of hits to start the 3rd inning. And that'll bring up Tomey, 2 men aboard. You can ask a question at carsoup.com/baseball. Steve Albers, just south of here, Owatonna, Minnesota. If Jim Tomey goes deep tonight, that will mark the 3rd team he's hit a home run for in Target Field. Actually, it would be his 4th. Has anyone else hit one for 2 different teams so far? Well, Josh Willingham hit one here against the Twins. He's hit a bunch of them here for the Twins. So the answer is yes. And again, Tomey hit several for the Twins, 1 for the Indians here, a couple for the Phillies here. There's strike 1. Tomey dealt from the Phillies to the Orioles a little more than a week after he left town with the Phillies. One and 1. 609 home runs for Jim Tomey. Next on the list, Ken Griffey Jr. Unlikely that Tomey would have passed that mark this year, but he suggested to me and Ron Coomer around the batting cage he'd like to consider playing 1 more year. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. 1 and 2. was talking about the difficulties in DHing, how he adapted to it. One and two. There's a big curveball and a strikeout of Tomey in a key spot.
Two good curveballs in that at bat to Jim Tomey. A little bit more of the Duno curveball that we are hoping to see. Here it is down underneath. That's a terrific pitch, right? That's got the snap on it that we're looking for. Down and underneath the swing. Looks like it's going to be about knee high to hit, and then just disappears on the hitter. That's a big league curveball right there. That's the one we want.
Adam Jones bounced to third his first time up. Missing the inside corner, ball one. And Bauer to the mound to talk to DeDuno.
That looked like maybe just a little cross up. Joe caught that ball funny. I don't know if he was looking for a change up and the fastball got on him a little bit more quickly than he was expecting. But I don't know what else they'd be talking about there other than a potential cross up. Because the only reason I say that is I don't know what else they'd be talking about, and Joe caught it funny. So I'm assuming that's what it was.
1-0 to Jones. And a chopper foul. Jones signing a 6-year deal in late May, cementing his status as a marquee player now for the Orioles. Plays center field at a very high level. 20 home runs, batting average just under 300. Curve and a big swing and a miss by Jones.
And a big curveball, another real good one. Hopefully Samuel is finding the feel of that breaking ball. That's a good one. That's got away and down angle. That's perfect right there. In a perfect spot, perfect angle.
That's punched to left center field. Span with a nice catch. And out number 2. No grass stains this time, but a nice catch nonetheless.
Among the many things that center fielder Denard Span does really very well is close on a ball that hangs up. You see, this has got a chance to off the bat of Adam Jones, get down, but Denard closes the last. I hope he didn't tweak a hamstring or. When he turned there, it looked like he was a little ginger on one of his legs. But anyway, Denard takes away a lot of hits coming in on baseballs. He's very good closing on balls in and over.
Wieters will hit. He drew one of 3 DeDuno walks so far tonight. And a foul at the plate, going back to the backstop. Run of the game, scoring on a DeDuno wild pitch. Bouncer to second. And Wieters is out. The Orioles strand a couple of runners after the inning starts with 2 singles. Denard Span will lead off the bottom of the 3rd for the Twins. The Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. By CenturyLink, a different kind of communications company. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Grand Casino, the best stories start here. Face painting, a little popcorn at the ballpark, hoping for a Twins comeback. Bernard Span will lead off the third with the Twins down just 1 run. Span walked to start the ball game, but was doubled up in the Ben Revere at bat. Facing left-hander Zach Britton. Span, Revere, and Mauer here in the third inning. And a strike. No, it wasn't. I beg your pardon. 2-0. Ooh, that was close. That was very close. Span with a leadoff single in the third.
I don't know how that ball didn't hit him. Neither does Zach, actually. That's what you call up the middle right there. That's right back at the pitcher.
Oh. Last night, Mauer hit a shot that was well over the head of Tillman before he left the ball game. This one was whistled right over his cap. So Span aboard again. His 4th hit of the series. And here's Ben Revere. Nice to see Revere threaten to bunt and pull the bat back. I think one thing we've seen Ben guilty of in the past is committing early, and regardless of where the pitch is, trying to finish off a bunt.
Well, you've heard me talk about that before, Dick. Bunting is no different than hitting in that you have to get a good pitch to bunt, just like you're trying to get a good pitch to hit. And just because you decide to bunt doesn't mean you have to.
Down and away, 2-0. And Wieters will go to the mound. Benamit well in front of the bag at third base. Well in on the grass, trying to discourage the bunt.
That plays right into Ben's hands, I think, as a hitter, especially against left-handers, because he's so good at hitting the ball in the opposite field against left-handed pitching. And if he can get the third baseman drawn in like that, then pretty good chance that he can hit a ball past him, because he likes going that direction.
Span checked it first. Twins with 4 hits. Mauer's double in the first and 3 singles have followed. Nothing has crossed the plate yet. He takes a strike, 2-1. Revere has a few more games like last night, 6 plate appearances. He'll catch up to the rest of the league in terms of having enough plate appearances to qualify for the top 10 in hitting. That's to short center, but Jones has it covered. 1 down. That'll bring up Mauer. Rasmussen College is proud to present Student Days every Wednesday at Target Field. Students can attend the game tomorrow at 7:10. Get a standing room only ticket for just $8. Student Day tickets are available beginning at 9 in the morning tomorrow. There's a limit of 1 ticket per student with a valid ID. And for more information, visit twinsbaseball.com or call 800-33-TWINS. 1 gone. Span still at first and Mauer at the plate. Mauer sliced a double to the gap in left center field back in the first inning. Ball 1. Mauer's batting average inching upward, but so too is Mike Trout's. He's already got 3 hits tonight. Strike over the inside corner. For the Twins catcher. Span was thrown out trying to steal last night.
Probably won't be going with Joe up there. Leave the hole open for Joe there on the right side, but I hope Denard gets comfortable doing that more and more often. Even though he got not getting thrown, I don't want him to get comfortable getting thrown out, but I'd like to see him get comfortable stealing more, attempting to steal more bases. He should have this guy's move down by now. It looks like it's a classic left-handed move where if his right leg goes behind his left, he's going to the plate, and if it's more straight up and down the front leg, then he's coming over to first.
Slide step down and away, 2-1. Trout with his 3 hits tonight up to 354. Mauer's second in the league at 330. How can a kid 20 years old, now you say the word kid advisedly I guess, but he's making it look easy up here. Inside, 3-1.
The young man's got a lot of talent. He's can really fly, and he's therefore has a lot of ways to get hits. He's a good hitter anyway. Good hitting mechanics, but he also can bunt for hits and leg out some weak ground ball hits. He's got a lot of ways to be on base.
See what Mauer gets here on 3-1. Nearly hit him. Span will go to second. 2 men aboard now for Willingham. Let's go to Comerica Park in Detroit, and it is a kicking so far. Mike Trout hitting one out to right center field. Albert Pujols hitting one out to left field. Jacob Turner, the starter for the Tigers, he was shelled. And right now, the Angels have an 11-0 lead.
Mike Trout, I'm sorry, Dick. Mike Trout, just to kind of close it on him, he's got all the tools. I mentioned how fast he is, but he's a strong kid too. He can hit the ball out. You saw that in right center in Detroit. He's got a lot of tools. Angels trying to catch Texas. It's going to be tough duty. As well as the Angels are playing, Texas just got an awful lot of talent as well.
Here's Willingham tying run at second. This one bounced foul. Rangers getting some power arms back. Neftali Feliz, Alex Ogondo. And yet some say that they will make a move or some moves before the trading deadline. Outside, 1-1. Kevin Youkilis at Fenway Park hitting a home run against the Red Sox.
Good for him.
John Lester giving it up with 2 men aboard. And the White Sox with a 7-2 lead. 1-1 to Willingham. Breaking ball over. It's the 3rd time Willingham has seen that breaking pitch thrown to him for a called strike.
And you can tell the way they're trying to pitch him. They know he wants the ball in, preferably down and in, and he's throwing fastballs on the outside part of the plate and then a breaking ball that starts outside and comes back. Hitters call that a backdoor breaking ball. Really trying to work away from his power.
Swing and a miss with a fastball outside. 2 down.
Pitched it very tough. You have to tip your hat to a pitcher every once in a while when you throw the ball where you want to like this. That's a tough pitch. And he kept the ball away from Josh to hold it back.
Morneau popped up to J.J. Hardy his first time up after trying to bunt, leading off the second inning. Big swing and a miss. Morneau's average against lefties creeping up. He's getting some hits. Now 137. Swing and a foul, 2 strikes. A modest average over the last 3-4 weeks against lefties.
That 087, you almost can't even look at that with any kind of belief. I mean, he has been so good in his career against left-handed pitching, and it just hasn't been there for him this year. And I'm firmly convinced that that's the toughest thing for a left-hander to do, coming back from almost 2 years out of the big leagues, out of playing games, away from the game. It's a great example of how it's just not that easy.
And Morneau protects the plate. You tend to forget because Willingham has done such a good job hitting between Mauer and Morneau, but the Twins defiantly would have Mauer and Morneau hitting back-to-back for good reason. They both hit left-handers very well up until this year.
Exactly right.
2 strikes. And Wieters at 6'5" had to reach for that one.
Matt Wieters wanted his pitcher to throw the ball high, throw a high fastball there. That was a show-me pitch. You'll see he wants it up, throw it up here. We want to show something really hard up in your eyes, but not in the eyes of the guy in the second row.
1-2. And a tapper up the line. Reynolds goes to the bag, and again the Twins leave 2 men aboard. They've left 5 on through 3 innings and trail 1-0. Here's a wide-angle view of Target Field from our GoPro shot. Turned into a very pleasant evening here tonight. Orioles in front 1-0. Last night, another blow for the Toronto Blue Jays. And Jose Bautista holding his left wrist. And the first report was they thought it was a hamate bone injury. Now they say it's a wrist tendon injury. At least that's the last word I got. Sanford Health Injury Report Toronto's dealt with so many injuries to the pitching staff, and now a position player, maybe their most important position players out.
I will tell you something from experience, that they need to make sure that it's not the hammy bone break fracture, because I did that myself, and for the longest time the doctors thought it was a wrist tendon injury. It took a very focused hand specialist to find the crack in the hammy bone. So best of luck to Miguel Bautista. I hope that it's not a hammy bone fracture. I hope they're right, and that wrist heals up.
1-1 to Reynolds. And now an off-speed pitch over for a called strike. Well, I happen to have that injury too, and I know in my case X-rays won't show it. You have to have an MRI or a CAT scan.
In my case, back in the dinosaur days, they had to take a very special kind of X-ray from the top, where I had to hold my palm in a very funny position, as Deduno makes another great pitch with a curveball to lock up Mark Reynolds for strike 3.
And back in those dinosaur days, they just put a leech on it and hoped it got better.
Absolutely.
We're happy to have Aaron Blyven with us from North Dakota. He's up here in the booth. Aaron, we're glad to have you up here as the Circle Me Burt fans of the night. Aaron and his family up here, hoping the Twins can come back and win a ball game. Here's a foul lifted over the Baltimore dugout. First trip to Target Field for Aaron and his family from Minot, North Dakota. Chris Davis drew a walk leading off the second inning. Then Deduno got a ground ball double play. Faced just 3 men in the second inning. Both teams have had ample opportunities to do some scoring. The Orioles got their run on a wild pitch. The Orioles have left 4 men on. Twins have left 5 men on. And here in the 4th inning, Reynolds striking out. It's the first time Deduno has retired a leadoff batter.
Orioles actually got their run on 2 wild pitches, one to first base on an attempted pickoff, and then there was a 2-base error, and then they followed that up with a wild pitch to the plate that allowed Markakis to score. But Deduno coming back, he looks like he has much better command all of a sudden, and pitching with a lot more confidence. The breaking ball, the big breaking ball, starting to show up for him. That's a good sign. He's getting comfortable before the home crowd here.
75 pitches thrown for Deduno. There's a curve wide of the plate, full count. 2 teams have combined to go 0 for 11 with men in scoring position. BAL AT MIN will hit after Davis. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Deduno in the 4th. 4th strikeout for Deduno. 2 looking, 2 swinging.
And there's a good example. Watch this fastball right here. This is set up by him being able to get the breaking ball over. It all happens when you can throw 2 good pitches for strikes consistently. Everybody sees him from the bench, the on-deck circle, starting to get their breaking ball over. And they have to protect against that, and they get beat on the fastball.
Ball 1. BAL AT MIN hit into the double play. Hit a 2-hopper to Carroll back in the second inning. Drilled to center. Span backhands it, gets it back in. 2 down and a runner now at first base. You can get an inside look at the Wild on Becoming Wild Chapter 2 every Tuesday and Thursday on FoxSportsNorth.com. See exclusive footage of a day in the life for the Wild organization. Log on to FoxSportsNorth.com for Becoming Wild Chapter 2. Here's Ryan Flaherty, struck out looking. Struck out on 3 pitches from Deduno to wrap up the second inning. Bell tie strike. Modest numbers for Flaherty, and who knows, he might be one of those players the Orioles will keep and then let him develop in the minor leagues next year. That's not an option this year. Flaherty coming to the Orioles in the same manner that the Twins got Scott Diamond, but the Twins determined last year they wanted to keep Diamond, but they couldn't afford to keep him at the big league level, and so they worked out a trade with Atlanta in retrospect might turn out to be one of the shrewdest moves they've made in recent years. Pulled foul, 1-2. Diamond picking up his 8th win of the year last night. One and two to the number 9 batter. Bauer needs to throw to first to complete the strikeout. Good inning for DeDuno, his best of the night so far. Broadcast, let us know who you think will be the Arby's value player of the game. Text the word value followed by a space in the player's name to short code 234234. See, I like this. Trevor Plouffe is leading the balloting, and he's leading off the 4th inning. It's as if Twins fans are anticipating a big moment here.
Well, you know what else I like about that is the Twins fans, being the intelligent baseball fans that they are, know that Plouffe has been tearing up left-handed pitching here. They got a left-hander on the mound that he's already seen once. And Twins fans think that something big might be happening. I'm kind of betting with them.
All right, Plouffe singled his first time up. Half swing and strike one. Some Twins fans might be wondering, because I was wondering. Plouffe hasn't homered since July 3rd. 1-1. Plouffe, Doman, and Dozier. Trying to break through against Zach Britton. Foul back. Roy, you mentioned before, I think, Britton led the team in wins last year, 11 wins. He also had 11 losses. It was his rookie season. Had some left shoulder problems. The Orioles starting rotation was really disrupted. Tommy Hunter was supposed to be their opening day starter, and he was injured at the start of the season. Britton making his debut tonight. And they've changed Britton's delivery a little bit. They've got him way over on the third base side of the pitching rubber. 2-2 to Plouffe. Loose pitch, and it's ball 3. And Rick Adair has tried to get him to lengthen his stride to take a little pressure off that shoulder. Full count to the leadoff man here in the 4th. And Plouffe with some up here look like some pretty close pitches and some nice takes to get aboard here in the 4th. Ron Coomer, the Twins sending up right-handers Plouffe, Domet, Dozier, and Carroll here. What's their approach against this left-hander?
I think after you see a guy a couple times like they've seen him, you go in there and you know, like Domet last at bat got a pitch up and out over the plate and hammered it in the hole for a base hit. I think what you have to do, and Roy, we've talked about this many times, is zone in on a spot early in the count, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for something in, and you can look either hard or soft, but you have to look for a spot. And I think, to me, with our guys, I think Britton has been inconsistent enough to where you can sit on something on a certain speed and be ready for him.
And a strike, 1-1.
Like that one right there, Coom. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think for these right-hand hitters, they need to be sitting on a pitch inside. This looks like the pitch that Doman would want to hit right there. But Coom, Britton has been trying to keep the ball away from these right-handers, and the other key, besides what you're saying about zoning in, it's one thing to look for the ball in the air, but it's the other thing to lay off the pitch if it's not in there. And one of the things that our guys have done so far is they might be looking inside, but then they commit and go ahead and swing at an outside pitch, which plays into the pitcher's hands.
And now 2-1 to Doman.
I'm guessing his fastball tonight is two-seam fastball, Roy, and Dick has had pretty good movement going down and going away, because we have seen some guys, you know, swing at that pitch down and off the plate. Willingham struck out his last at bat on the ball, kind of fading down and away, and you don't see Willingham miss too many fastballs like that. So the one thing Britton must have is a pretty good two-seam fastball going away with movement.
Domet bounces it towards the hole. And Domet will reach on a fielder's choice with Flaherty's throw pulling Reynolds off the bag.
I was going to tell you, Coom, you're absolutely right. Before that pitch, I was going to say that his two-seamer is really moving pretty well when it starts on the outside. Look here. That ball starts middle, breaks down toward the end of Doman's bat, gets a two-hopper to short. Good call, Coom, because you're absolutely right. The ball out there has been moving really well.
And I do think if you're not on time with a guy like this, you know, it's going to make it tough. He's not overpowering, so you almost have to be prepared to just kind of relax up there and let the ball get to you, because if you do, then you can handle most of those pitches.
Down low to Dozier.
But you have to have the discipline to be able to lay off that pitch till you get 2 strikes. And you have to be willing to do what Josh Willingham did and get struck out on a really, really tough pitch out there, trying to get your pitch before you get to 2 strikes. There's no sense making it out before you get to 2 strikes on that two-seamer.
Lifted foul into the seats, 1-1. Dozier hitting just under 300 against left-handers. Three of his 4 home runs have come against left-handers. Runner goes, and Hardy fires to first. So Dozier retired, but Doman advances to second for Carroll. AT&T trivia. And partner, you nailed it last night. Said it was Davey Johnson, one of the 2 American League players with hitting streaks of 20 or more games in 2012. Robinson Cano extended his to 20 tonight, but he's not on the list. Coming into tonight. Here's Carroll. Down low, ball 1. He's trying to take advantage of Britton's 3rd walk of the night, his 2nd leadoff walk. And a strike.
I want to go back to something that to the discussion that Ron Coomer and we were just having about what a right-hander's approach. I really believe that Ron is right. You need to look for the ball in there, or you need to look for it out over the plate, because
Britton is doing a good job of just staying out there. So you have to do one or the other. You have to look one spot or the other against this guy tonight, and then lay off the other one, whichever one you want. If you think you're going to get more fastballs for strikes on the outside part of the plate, then go ahead and look out there. But then it's got to be a right center field approach, not a pull approach.
2-1 to Carroll. Foul back, 2-2. 71 pitches now thrown by Britton. Showalter on the left, Rickadere on the right. Orioles reeling a bit. Jason Hamels out for about a month after having knee surgery yesterday. They'd love it if Britton could step up and anchor a spot in the rotation. That's a fair ball down the line. Carroll ties the game. Doman around third, and Carroll scampers to second. A big 2-out, 2-strike hit by Jamie Carroll.
That's great hit by Jamie Carroll. He gets the ball inside and turns on it, hits it down the line. He can do that because he keeps his head so still and lets the ball travel to him, just reacts. And that's a great job of hitting right there by Jamie Carroll. He has gotten so many big 2-out hits for the Twins this year.
And his doubles, it seems like every one of them have gone either right over the third base bag or right over the first base bag.
Right.
Here's Span. He's walked and singled so far tonight. Down and in, ball one. And now 2-0. Most of Carroll's hits to right and some of them down the right field line, but we've seen him pull a number of doubles right down the left field line.
You can see he sets up to center field and right field most of the time, but he's a smart veteran. He has an inkling that you're going to come in on him. He can get the head of the bat out there on him.
2-0 breaking ball for strike one. Wieters to the mound. The Twins finally break through against Britton after leaving 5 men on in the first 3 innings. And ultimately the leadoff walk led to the run. Fouled back, 2-2.
Good job of fighting off that pitch. And Britton has really pitched Denard tough right here. He's got that good two-seam fastball that Ron Kuma was talking about, diving in at him, and then out of the same motion he throws a pretty hard slider that's going down and away. Tough to get you the big end of your bat on both of those. He's really in a battle right now because he could see a 92-mile-an-hour fastball running in or a slider running away from him. Looks like the slider away, maybe. Wieters went with the fastball, wanted it away. Britton threw it pretty much down the middle, right in Denard's wheelhouse. You see Denard thinking maybe he might have hit that one.
It did have a little extra on it, 94 miles per hour. I think it's the hardest he's thrown tonight.
Wieters wanted it away, kind of right in the middle of the zone. Denard fouls it away. And you see him hitting over the top of it. The ball's got good movement.
2. Wieters wasn't sure where it was. First base open. Revere on deck.
Terrific take there by Denard. Seen a 94-mile-an-hour fastball to pitch before. It's so easy to get a little caught up in the speed of that and jump out there protecting against that speed and swinging over. You see a lot of left-handers out in front and swing and miss that low slider, low and away slider. Denard waits a long time, a lot like Ben Revere, a lot like Joe Mauer. They have the ability and the confidence to let the ball travel a long way toward the plate before they commit.
Inside, Span has reached all 3 times.
Good at bat right there.
So first and second, the inning marches on. Adair to the mound. 25 pitches in this inning, and now Revere comes up with 2 men aboard. And we made mention last night, it's no longer true, but we made mention last night that 11 of the 14 teams in the American League had winning records. Now last night Toronto lost, so they're back to 500. And if it seems like still a big number, 10 of the 14 teams with winning records, it suggests that some of those teams are pretty close to 500. 6 of them are just 4 games above or less, meaning that one bad week here or there and the numbers could be just as skewed the other way. Of course, when you're the Twins and you're one of the 3 teams that doesn't have a winning record, it's frustrating, but that's how balanced most of the league is in terms of win percentage. And Revere takes a strike. Yeah, you've got the Yankees, and they've got 55 wins. And you've got the Rangers. They've got 54 wins. And the White Sox here headed for their 50th win. But there's a big logjam of teams right in the middle of the league standings. And that's why with the 2 wild card teams, it's going to be a fascinating last 10 weeks of the season.
It really is. That's what I was going to say. It's going to be an awful lot of fun for an awful lot of fans in a lot of cities.
1-1 to Revere. And an awkward swing, 1-2. So you've got the division leaders, New York, Chicago, and Texas, and then the rest of them. Right now, 6 teams within 3 games of first place. One and 2 to Ben Revere. Snapped his bat. And Flaherty fires to first to end the inning. The Twins get a big 2-out double from Jamie Carroll. They finally tie it up at 1. mascot race being held. The Mosquito on the left, losing to the Loon. And might be the first time anyone in Minnesota would ever feel sorry for a Mosquito. Oh, by the way, they're having a really good year. I don't know if you've noticed, Mosquitoes have had a really good year this year. There are a lot of them around. We go to the 5th inning. And Nick Markakis has been a tough out for the Twins in this series. Up and away, ball 1 from Deduno.
You know, I think that with the emergence of Adam Jones as being kind of the go-to guy now, the big guy in the middle of the order, that's going to make Nick Markakis a real dangerous hitter and player again. He was, for the years of frustration and more ineptitude, as you can see, since he got back from the DL, he's been absolutely hot. But he was kind of the guy. He was hitting third and was kind of the big man in that lineup. And I think he can be a terrific supporting player. I don't know that he's a third hitter, but and I don't know if he's a leadoff hitter either. But I will tell you, as a second hitter in front of Adam Jones, I think that'd be really good.
A 4-pitch walk. He's got 5 singles, and now he walks leading off the 5th inning. J.J. Hardy will hit next. At every Twins game, businesses of all sizes can host their employees and clients for a fun night of baseball. Take advantage of all the Target Field has to offer your business group. The Twins are an inexpensive and simple way to entertain in a setting your employees and clients will be sure to enjoy. Organize your group of more than 25 today by calling 833-TWINS and ask about a Twins Target Field group outing. J.J. Hardy singled his last time up. He hopes that's the beginning of an end to his slump. Leadoff man has reached in 4 of the 5 innings against Deduno, and 3 times it's been Markakis that has reached first base. And there goes Markakis. And a little dribbler to third. Blue fires across. 1 down, and Markakis reaches second base. That'll bring up Tomey.
Normally that observation you just made about the leadoff hitter getting on in 4 or 5 innings would be a real problem for a pitcher, any pitcher. But with the Orioles struggling so badly with runners in scoring position, it hasn't really bitten the Twins pitchers very much yet, and not Deduno at all. But sooner or later, that's going to catch up. You can't continue to put guys on base without them getting hits.
Tap foul, 1 strike. With all the talk here on July 17th about the trading deadline at the end of this month, it's important to remember that players do move in August. Jim Tomey was moved from the Twins to the Cleveland Indians in August last year. Delman Young was moved from the Twins to the Tigers in August of last year. I'm not suggesting that there's another move in Tomey's future, although at this point nothing would surprise me. See who's coming here in September. Way outside. Contending teams, Tampa Bay. I don't know that the Tigers are necessarily interested in a designated hitter. Jeff Gray warming up. The difference is in August, players have to go through the waiver process. 1-1. And up high, 2-1.
And going through that waiver process, yes, guys can move in August after the July 31 trade deadline, but you don't see big trades. You don't see 2 big name players being traded for each other or a bunch of package deals. You'll see a guy like Jim Tomey go to a club that wants him down the stretch.
Swing and a miss.
The way we got Don Baylor in '87 and ultimately helped us win.
Deduno struck out Tomey in the 3rd inning. 92 pitches for DeDuno. And he got a piece. It's such a good curveball that if it's in that area, I hate to say this, but it almost looks like it's a good enough curveball that he wouldn't get hurt by it. I mean, you don't see too many curves like that, do you?
I'll answer that in just a second, Dick. I wanted to show you this. Look at how the difference in the infield defense and the outfield defense. The outfield shaded to left center, around to left. The infield way around to right. You say, now, you know, is that what? That's what a contradiction. But they know the charts. Ground balls pulled, fly balls in the air hit the other way, and that's all about the way all of the data that the players or the clubs have on different players. They know that the balls in the air are going to, when he hits the ball the other way, it's going to be in the air. And when he hits the ball on the ground, it's going to tend to be pulled.
Full count to Thome. First base open, 1 away.
But back to your question, yes, I think it's when his curveball is moving like his good one does, that's a very tough pitch to hit. It has a lot of bite to it, and it keeps biting down. You see a lot of curveballs will start out with some pretty good arc and then kind of settle in the strike zone, and those can be hit. Samuel DeDuno's, when he's got his good one, it starts in the zone, starts biting, and just keeps going down, and that's why you see good hitters like Jim Thome swing and miss that pitch.
He did in the 3rd inning to strike out. This one down and in, ball 4. So Thome hasn't put a ball in play yet. He's walked twice and struck out once. Adam Jones will hit with 2 men aboard. The 2 American League players with hitting streaks of 20 games and more. Adam Jones of the Orioles and Michael Brantley of the Indians at 22. Rick Anderson to the mound. Remember offhand your longest hitting streak?
I think it was 19 games.
Okay. Well, Rick Anderson out there for the 2nd time. A couple of walks here in the 5th inning. Twins have just tied the game in the bottom of the 4th. Now the Orioles have a threat with their cleanup hitter and 2 men on base. Ron Coomer, your longest hitting streak.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I know I had an 18-game streak in the minor leagues. I want to say it was either 12 or 18 games in the big leagues is what I think.
12 or 18? That's a week's worth of games, Coom. 12 or 8.
Coom, I'm going with the 18.
It's a long time ago. It's you know.
Well, here's Jones. He's hit a bouncer to 3rd and a fly ball to center. Driven to right field. Revere back, and it's gone. A home run on the first pitch. Adam Jones puts the Orioles up 4-1. So Adam Jones with his 21st home run of the year, and now 48 runs batted in.
High fastball up and out over the plate. We saw last night in the hot zone batting average for pitches. He likes the ball up and out over the plate, does Adam Jones, and he drove that ball. Wind drifting out that way. To use Coom's term, he got it elevated.
Fox Tracks brought to you by Window Concepts of Minnesota. So DeDuno in his first Twins start in Texas gave up a couple of solo home runs, but left the ball game in a tie game. And here a big 3-run home run has put the Orioles up 4-1. 1-1 to Wieters. Wieters drew a walk and bounced to second. And that ball skips by Dozier into center field. Ron Gardenhire has seen enough. 98 pitches, 13 outs for Samuel DeDuno. And Jeff Gray is going to come in. Twins just tied it up, but Duduno gives 3 back in the top of the 5th. Last night, but he's going back to the disabled list. He's got some irritation in his right rotator cuff, and Capps came off the disabled list and made 2 appearances, and a corresponding roster move is expected before tomorrow's game. And last night Terry Ryan said that Capps did something to irritate the shoulder again. Samuel Duduno coming out of the ball game. He got into the 6th inning in Texas, and here tonight just into the 5th inning. And Jeff Gray comes out of the Twins pen with the Twins down 4-1. You see Gray's numbers on the year, a 5-0 mark. Good opponent batting average. I think Ron Gardenhire spent almost as much time in the dugout with his cap off as with his cap on. It's been an exasperating year again for the Twins manager, and you can see him throw something down in disgust. Reynolds with a bouncer to short and a strikeout.
The main object of its disgust is the 2 walks that preceded the home run by Adam Jones.
And another early exit for a Twins starting pitcher. And whatever the aggregate numbers are for the Twins relievers this year, you can only imagine what they would be with a normal workload by the starting rotation. Been 11 different guys in the rotation. Popped straight up in the air into the twilight. Carroll lost one under these conditions last night. Morneau stays with it. Out number 2. Really, you look at the season so far, and there's the twilight evening sky here. Only Scott Diamond has done his job in terms of pitching innings. When Carl Pavano, who normally, when healthy, would do that, experienced more and more trouble with his shoulder. Pavano succumbed to some short starts, 4 or 5 innings at a time. Liriano now is at that point, but most of the season has been a lost season for him. Strike 1. The Twins, Diamond included, don't have one pitcher who's thrown enough innings to qualify for ERA, I don't even say leadership, but placement. You have to average 1 inning per team game played to be considered in the ERA leaders, trailers, wherever. And the Twins don't have one. Diamond will get there here in his next couple of starts. At least we would hope so.
That's about as dramatic a statistic as I've heard or could think of to indicate, to illustrate what the starting pitching has been like for manager Ron Gardner and how he's had to try and cobble together starters and a succession of bullpen rotation all season long.
1-2 to Chris Davis. Bauer with a block, and it manifests itself in so many ways. The Twins are carrying 13 pitchers because they have to, because the starters haven't eaten up the innings they were expected to eat up. So right now, Ron Gardenhire, as has bench players, Alexi Casilla, Drew Butera, and Darren Mastroianni. A year ago, pitching wasn't that great a year ago, but they had Jim Thome on the bench. You know, players like that that could, you know, maybe give you a pinch hit, a big pinch hit. 2-2, and that'll wrap things up here in the Baltimore fifth. Adam Jones tees off on the first pitch he sees from Samuel DeDuno, a big 3-run shot, and it's 4-1.
Deck behind home plate, section 318 in the Minnesota State Lottery Winner's Circle, where I am holding $100 here of Minnesota State Lottery scratch-off tickets for Rosemary Wilson. Now, Dick and Roy, check this out. Rosemary Wilson right here is sitting in her grandson's seat. She's celebrating her 80th birthday, the same year which she happens to be celebrating her 60th wedding anniversary to Bob, who's watching the game home right now. And this is a way to celebrate a birthday when you turn 80. She's got a beer in her hand, sitting at the game, and she's been a Twins fan her entire life. What do you want to say to husband Bob right now, Rosemary, watching you on TV at home?
Bob, I love you.
How do you stay married 60 years?
60 years.
How do you do it?
We're doing good.
Well, how do you do it?
How do you do it? Well, you have to hold your tongue a lot.
Have to hold your tongue a lot. Great advice for all of us, coming from a young lady sitting here drinking a beer, enjoying her 80th birthday and 60th anniversary. Dick and Roy. Good words of advice right there.
Thank you, Robbie. Joe Mauer taking strike one. Zach Britton now pitching with a 3-run lead. Well, Twins fans from Idaho, you know, I mean, Armin Killebrew, born in Payette, Idaho. Maybe that's the genesis of their support of Twins baseball. Mauer, Willingham, and Morneau against Britton. Mauer doubled and walked in his first 2 plate appearances, and now it's 1-1. Outside. 2-1. Last year, in a year he'd like to forget, Joe Mauer had 296 at bats. He's already had 303 this year, and we have 10 weeks to go. 3-1.
Those last two pitches that were taken by Joe are examples of what distinguishes a great hitter like Joe is from a lot of other hitters, even good hitters. Those are great takes that got him to 3-1. Those are pitches that a lot of guys would offer at, and he gets to 3-1 and gets a pitch he can handle. And you saw the statistic when he's ahead in the count. When anybody's ahead in the count. Take those pitches, get a fastball in the middle of the plate, get a base hit. It's just that easy.
He makes it look easy.
He certainly does.
So the Twins get their leadoff man on.
But you know, Dick, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just as we look at Josh Willingham here, Joe makes it look easy because he's able to take those pitches that a lot of us would swing at and get himself into count so he can really handle so much of the time.
Ball 1.
What a surprise. There's another pitch start away from Josh Willingham. They've been working him away. And wouldn't you look at this middle outside part of the plate, down and away. He doesn't have very great numbers. You throw it middle in, middle down, or up and out over the plate. Pretty dangerous.
But I'm guessing that chart would look pretty similar to for any right-handed power hitter, right?
Yeah, we talked about that. The old that we used to laugh in the clubhouse. In the old days, we used to have clubhouse meetings to go over the opposing hitters, and a guy like Willingham would come up and you say, well, pitching fastballs up and in, sliders down and away, and we'd all look at each other and go, well, that'd get all the rest of us out too. That's what they're saying about me.
And now 3-0 with Morneau on deck.
So that's right. It is better to pitch power hitters in, hard in, and then try to get them out away. Two things about that. It's not always easy to do that. You can't throw it where you want to all the time. And they've gotten much more sophisticated, obviously, as evidenced by our hot zone batting average graphics here.
Follow the Twins with MLB.com at Bat12 for your Windows, mobile, BlackBerry, Android, iPhone, or iPad. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit twinsbaseball.com. Fifth walk taken by the Twins. Now, last night, their first 5 walks that they took, all 5 men came around to score. And so far, indirectly, the leadoff walk in the 4th scored. Morneau represents the tying run. Misfiring outside, ball 1. Morneau last year had just 264 at bats. He has 271 at bats this year. Rick Adair back to the mound. They, of course, would love to get Britton through this 5th inning to give him a chance to win the ball game, but more importantly, the Orioles need to win this ball game. It's been a tough 3.5-week skid for the Orioles. Adair has said his piece.
That piece really was about how we're going to try and pitch this left-hand hitter. He went out there and had a real good trip to the mound with Ben Revere up. Told him, this kid likes to slap the ball to the left against left-handers, bust him in when it got him out inside. So they wanted to be real clear now exactly how they're going to try to pitch Justin.
1-0 to Morneau.
This is the guy they really want Britton to get out. Left-hander against left-hander.
Swing and a miss, 1-1.
The one thing that you can see right there with Justin's swing that's been kind of indicative of him against left-handers this year, He's just been a little quick with that stride, a little bit out front with his body, and that slows his bat down a little bit on the fastball, but gets him out in front of breaking balls. His timing, as Ron Cooper was talking about, his timing last night was so good against left-handers. It hasn't been quite as good.
On the outside corner, 1-2.
Pitcher's pitch. Pitcher's pitch right here looked to me like it was a little bit outside. Fox Track said it is. That's way in the strike zone for Bert Blyleven.
1-2 to Morneau. Now 2-2. Britton's strike percentage a little higher than 50%, so the count is 2-2.
Well, he can throw him either pitch right now. He can throw him the fastball away or that slider. Both could be effective in this count. Now he's let Justin back in a little bit. And that's kind of what you were talking about earlier about being able to put hitters away. He really had the upper hand against Justin and let that slip away. Now he's let Justin back into the at-bat.
Morneau's had 97 at-bats against left-handers, and he's drawn 4 walks. Fouled back. So he's not the easiest guy to walk with a left-hander on the mound. Ron Coomer.
Well, that's what Roy was just talking about right there. That fastball just got in on him just enough. It was just a little too deep for him to get the head of the bat out, and it is. It's his big stride, Roy. It is amazing, Dick, as you said. I mean, it's 4 walks against left-handers.
Checked his swing. And the bases are loaded. They tried a breaking ball, and Britton missed badly, and that's going to be the end of his night with the Twins loading the bases. And Morneau's just drawn his 5th walk against the left-hander. Plouffe will hit, but not against Britton, who makes his 2012 debut and comes off the mound with the lead, but only 4 innings thrown. His bullpen mates can preserve the lead. Time for the CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Duno up to 95, but he left early, and Britton throwing 94, and he only pitches 4 innings himself.
Both pitchers struggling with command of the strike zone, and that usually leads to early exits. Twins are familiar with this guy. Luis Ayala was here.
Pitched a couple of months for the Twins a few years ago. A sinker ball specialist. He's the ideal guy to bring in this situation. And Trevor Plouffe, who faced him earlier this year, comes up in a key spot. Plouffe has singled and walked. And here he'll do whatever he can to try to, what was the instructional last night? How to elevate the baseball? That's what he's going to try to do here and not pound it into the ground.
don't dislike this matchup at all. As much as Ayala is a sinker ball pitcher, Trevor Plouffe is a better low ball hitter than he is high ball hitter. So I don't dislike this matchup at all.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Plouffe at the plate. Outside, ball one.
Boy, there's nothing in the world better than getting up with the bases loaded against a guy you haven't seen for a while and having him throw the pitch you want, a fastball, for a ball. Now you got him 1-0. Likely to see another one in your bat before you get to 2 strikes.
A little nubber headed back to the mound. Ayala gets the force at home. So they're still loaded now for Ryan Doman. Bauer forced at the plate.
He did beat the ball to the ground. Pretty good sinker. Hit over the top of it. He almost didn't get it out of his glove in time to get Joe. Had a little bit of trouble with it right here and was a weak throw to the... Joe just couldn't quite get there in time.
So now Ayala to Doman, a left-handed batter. Doman has had 4 productive plate appearances against Ayala. 2 for 2, including a double, a walk, and a sacrifice fly. The Twins will take any of those right here. Strike over the inside corner. Doman is a left-handed batter, having a much better year than a right-handed batter. Hitting over 300 from this side of the plate. 5 of his 7 home runs have been as a left-handed hitter. Scalded into right field, a base hit. Willingham scores. Morneau coming around, Plouffe to third, and Doman delivers a 2-run single.
Well, another good matchup for the Twins. This time with a left-handed pull hitter, low ball hitter. Guy on the mound that figures to throw low fastballs. There it was. Doman really stays. Watch him go down and get that sinker. Get the big end of the bat on the ball, out in front, through the hole. Drives in 2 and gets the tying run to third with less than 2 out.
Another productive at bat for Doman against the veteran Luis Ayala. Tying run at third. And now Dozier will try to elevate the baseball. Get it to the outfield and hopefully get Plouffe in from third base. Strike one. Dozier's already hit the ball on the ground twice, both times to J.J. Hardy.
Good take there, or it would have been a third ground ball to J.J. Tough pitch, no reason to swing it. That pitcher's pitch on the first ball pitch a year ago. Get that one.
This one's through the hole. It'll tie the game. Doman checks in at second, and the Twins answer with a 3 spot at least in their half of the 5th inning.
See, that's the difference. It just makes so much difference why we're showing you the hot zones. The first pitch, although it was a strike, was an impossible pitch to put a good swing on. He takes that instead of making a quick out on it. So he goes to 0-1, but then he gets a ball in the middle of the plate and is able to get it through the hole. Good job of pitch selection as a hitter right there by Brian Dozier. Patience and pitch selection.
Another veteran, Jamie Carroll, taking strike one. So Britton's lead is gone. His night is done. He's given up 4 earned runs. DeDuno is off the hook. 2 short and ineffective starts for the 2 starters here tonight. Up and away, 1-1. Carroll delivered a game-tying double his last time up. threatens the outside corner.
See the location he's trying, except for the first pitch, he really wants to go away. That's a nasty pitch right there. Again, starting outside, tailing back over the plate.
Carroll's RBI double his last time up came with 2 strikes. 2-2. Twins tied it at 1. Now they've tied it at 4. Fouled away by Carroll. And Wieters runs a new baseball out to the mound. Indians lost. Royals are losing. Tigers lost. And now the only American League Central team to win, the White Sox, 7-5 over the Red Sox. Twins are hoping to get out of last place in their division. They started the day a game and a half behind Kansas City, but the Royals are behind 9-3. Two and 2. Ayala to Carroll. Fouled away.
Another fastball right there. I would have bet an awful lot of money if I was a hitter that he was going to get a fastball there. I can't figure out any other reason why Wieters would have gone out to talk with him. He threw in the only slider that he's thrown Jamie Carroll. The pitch before that last one, Jamie fouled it off. Wieters immediately went out to the mound. I don't know what he possibly could have told him, except I don't like the looks of that pitch. Let's not throw that one.
Man, a called third strike, and Carroll doesn't like it. Brian Honora rung him up for out number 2.
Nasty pitch. Fastball coming, tailing back on the corner. That's a tough pitch right there. See that ball moving? He has a lot of movement on that ball. It starts out, Jamie gives up on it, tails back.
Well, you could see Wieters looked like he caught it with the thumb of his catcher's mitt. It had a little extra jump at the end of it.
Sure did.
First and second, 2 down, and here's Span. Span has reached all 3 times tonight. Strike 1. Span with 3 hits last night. Another one tonight. 2 walks. Chance to give the Twins their first lead of the night. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Twins 3 for 11 tonight. Doman's delivered a big hit. Dozier's delivered a big hit. Need one more to take a 5th inning lead. Ooh, just missed with a breaking ball. Very close to being a called third strike.
Tries the backdoor slider right there. He almost got it back over the corner. Again, the hitters call that backdoor. It's usually sliders they want to break down and in under your swing. Backdoor slider starts outside. They try to clip the outside corner.
One and 2. And Span wastes it, flipping it foul over the Baltimore dugout.
It's clever, isn't it? You see 2 pitches out there toward the outside corner. One, the first one, and we call it the backdoor slider, trying to come back to the corner. The second one moving away from the corner. The ball starts out in the same basically the same spot. One trying to move back into the left-hander, one moving away. Sneaky pitchers.
Another 1-2 to Span. Got it.
And then he got him on the backdoor slider. That one clipped, got the play.
So Ayala gets a couple of called third strikes to keep this a 4-4 game, but Dolman and Dozier get big hits to tie it up. Andrew McCutchen continuing his climb up toward 400. 2 more hits tonight. Started the day at 372. 5 behind Ryan Braun in the home run department. He's within range of the RBI leadership. And Andrew McCutchen, who made quite an impression on the Twins when we were in Pittsburgh.
What a player this young man
look
is.
at that.
That is a streak for you right there. He's hit almost 500 in almost 100 at bats. That's astonishing. He is some kind of good player.
Outside to Bet A Meat, the 8th place hitter leading off the 6th inning. Pirates just a game behind the Reds. The Reds are going to have to play the next couple of weeks without Joey Votto, their best hitter. Fouled away, 1 strike, 1-1.
I understand that the last person to have 50 hits in 100 at-bat streak was Ichiro in 2004. But, you know, McCutchen's doing it with what my friend Don Baylor would call damage. You know, Ichiro, a lot of singles, a lot of infield singles. McCutchen is doing it with slugging percentage, too, which Donnie called damage.
To center. Span will play it on a hop. A solid single to center. And another leadoff man aboard for the Orioles. 5th time in 6 innings they've got their leadoff man on, and here's Ryan Flaherty. See if Flaherty is asked to bunt. Plouffe already in on the grass at third base. Flaherty struck out twice against Deduno. Red hot Nick Markakis on deck, so my money's on a bunt.
I will be shocked if he's not bunting
here. In the air. Bauer with a diving catch in foul territory.
I have to tell you that watching that play develop from up here, he had it all the way. You could just see it. That was the old football player in Joe right there. But watch him come out and go after it. Now, right here, he knows he's going to catch that ball. It's just a timing of the jump. That's just a good athletic play, but there's no doubt in my mind that that athlete was going to make it. Catch the ball up high enough off the ground so you get your hand in there before your elbows hit and jar the ball loose.
What a great play.
Really good.
You see the quickness getting out of the crouch, pursuing the ball. And I think it's safe to say that probably a play he would not have been able to make last year when the leg issues, sapped so much of his strength.
Right, to your point, Dick, watch how quickly he comes up. Well, we didn't see it there, but good concentration. And what I liked is that he got to the ball where he could catch it high, wrap it up, and then hit the ground. He didn't hit the ground at the same time he was making the catch.
Gray faces 4 men and leaves. We've also seen just now why he's won Gold Gloves.
Watch how quickly he comes out of this crouch, gets on the ball right away, stays with the concentration. You see it again right here. I just felt like he had that. He had it measured all the way, and Trevor Plouffe saying, "Yeah, I like that." Great defensive plays pump a team up. We saw it. We've seen it with the Twins over the years. It's been one of the hallmarks of the Twins' success is their ability to catch the ball and take outs away from the opposing team. We've seen it now last night with Ben Revere's terrific catch in right field. 2 real good plays by Denard Span, and now one of their real leaders, Joe Mauer, laying out, making a play in foul territory to really get a great matchup. This is great. The reason it's such a great play, besides the athleticism, it keeps a runner on first base. It gives the Twins an out. Gives Gardy a chance to bring in a left-hander to face a hot-hitting Nick Markakis instead of having Markakis up there against a right-hander, or especially with a runner on second base.
Markakis 5 hits and a walk in 8 plate appearances, and he swings and misses. Robertson has carved a niche against left-handed hitters. He's had 16 at-bats against them and picked up 8 strikeouts. Here, the Twins don't so much care how Markakis makes an out, just that he makes one, because the Twins haven't seen him make many in this series.
Robertson's got a great, big, hard breaking ball, and for the first time you see it, it's very difficult to get a read on it.
A breaking ball off the inside corner, 1-1. Markakis has scored 2 of the 4 Baltimore runs.
Gardy not only playing the percentages, Markakis not nearly as good against lefties as he is against right-handers, but as you said, Dick, Robertson very, very good against left-handers because of that big breaking ball.
Check swing and a strike.
So he threw in 2 breaking balls. He looked silly on one, so he's protecting against it. Now he can sneak the fastball in there. Now he's really got him set up. He can throw in just about anything, but I'm betting on the big hook.
One and two to Markakis. Bouncer to second. Carroll looks at second, throws to Morneau, 2 down. And Betamine advances to second base. And down to the Apple Valley Twins Pro Shop and say hello to Ben Revere tomorrow morning. Speedy, charismatic young outfielder will be signing from 11 to noon. And after seeing Ben, you can watch him in action as the Twins play host to the Orioles at 7:10. For more information and tickets, visit twinsbaseball.com. You'll never meet a friendlier person, forget that he's a baseball player, a friendlier, nicer person than Ben Revere. Here's Hardy. Down and in, ball 1. Hardy 1 for 3 tonight, but again, he's as hot as Markakis has been. Hardy has been just as cold. Now, they're going to intentionally walk Hardy here to fill first base and bring Jim Thome to the plate. Relying again on Robertson's effectiveness against left-handed hitters.
Right. And as bad as JJ's been going here, it's been primarily against right-handed pitching. Hit 287 against left-handers. So with first base open, Ron Gardenhire playing the percentages.
Well, this is interesting. Thome looking into the Twins dugout. I don't know if anybody's looking back at him. There's not a more popular opponent in baseball. Yeah, I think you just saw Ron Garden going, wow, what am I doing here?
Exactly right. Exactly right.
There's not a more popular opponent for Ron Gardenhire than the guy in the box. And Ron Gardenhire just put another man on base. Walk away and cross your fingers.
Well, he's putting it all on Robertson's ability to throw the big breaking ball in a spot where Jimmy can't hit it, because Thome can strike out. He can strike out against lefties even more so, and against a curveball or slider he's never seen, he's got a better chance. So Gardy's playing the percentages, but his stomach's still churning over this decision.
61 times he's hit a home run against the Twins, most of those, of course, with the Indians. Fastball down and in, missed. Now a fastball and a swing and a miss. You just get the sense, don't you, here at Target Field, not because he played for the Twins, Thome is still such a threat that everybody's paying attention here.
Oh, absolutely.
People aren't talking to one another. They're not enjoying anything to eat or anything to drink.
This is Casey at the bat, if I've ever seen him. This man right here.
2-1.
Is Casey at the bat. And when he comes to the plate, everybody's paying attention. There's an anticipation. You can sense it. There certainly is an anticipation in both dugouts. I guarantee you that, on the field and in both dugouts. Wondering what's going to happen. And I think most of the fans have the same feeling.
2-1. Thome has walked twice and struck out tonight. Didn't play in the ball game last night. Sunday, in an Oriole loss, the Orioles only got 4 hits, and Thome got 3 of them. 2 singles and a double.
Try to go into the water ball. If there was Maalox there, it would be in the Maalox. There's a good breaking ball right there.
Two and 2 to Thome. Came inside with a fastball and ran it up there at 90 miles per hour.
That's a good pitch in under Jim Thome's hands like that. Ball running in. It sets up that slider on the outside part of the plate. If we can get it there.
2-2 to Thome. Nice block by Mauer on a breaking pitch in the dirt. Adam Jones on deck.
The effective pitchers, the guys that are most effective, are able to get a hitter set up like he had Jim Thome there for a certain pitch. In that case, it was a slider there that he tried to throw. As we look at Alex Burnett warming up, this will be Robertson's last hitter, one way or the other. But once you get a hitter set up, you got to throw the pitch where you want to throw it. And again, just like letting Justin Morneau back into that bat last inning, he's let Thome back in here just a little bit.
3-2. Got it.
Great pitch. Then he throws the one he wanted to throw the pitch before. Great pitch.
Big moment for Tyler Robertson. He strikes out Jim Thome and keeps this a 4-4 game. Idea. Just a great moment for Tyler Robertson.
And a great pitch by the young left-hander. Just a great breaking ball on the outside corner in a big situation. Watch the bench. Yes, sir. And Ron Gardenhire said, thank goodness. Thank goodness I set the whole thing up to try to strike out and have a young rookie pitcher pitch to a future, for sure, Hall of Famer. And it worked out.
Put off that gastric bypass for another day.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Ben Revere to lead off the 6th inning. Revere, Mauer, and Willingham facing Luis Ayala, who did a great job keeping this a 4-4 game. Inside, ball 1. Ayala struck out Carroll and Span looking.
You know, Ayala really did do a good job. We've talked about sinker ball pitchers are going to give up some hits on the ground, and he threw 3 ground balls that had eyes. They got through the infield, and the Twins were able to tie it up. That's the only danger with having a sinker ball pitcher come in with the bases loaded. You got a chance to get a double play, but you also got a chance for the ball to run through the infield.
On the outside corner, 1-2. Here, Mauer and Willingham here in the Twins' 6th. Betamit gets rid of it in a hurry and throws Revere out. So Revere 4 hits last night, 0 for 4 tonight. That'll bring up Mauer, who's reached all 3 times. A couple of hits, a walk, a great defensive play in the top of this inning.
Not to mention all the terrific blocks he made early in the game, too. Yeah. He's had one heck of a ball game. 5.5 innings.
Lauer doubled in the first, walked in the third, singled leading off the fifth when the Twins tied the game with 3 runs. Ball 1. Twins fans may remember Ayala was with the Twins in the first couple months a few years ago. Didn't enjoy the role that he was in. Sliced foul. Expressed some concern about the role he was in, saying he wanted to lay a foundation for next year's contract. Well, in May, that didn't go over too well with the field staff, and he was cut loose shortly after that. One and one. Lazy fly ball to left. 2 away. So Mauer gets one airborne for an easy second out. The year was 2009, and Ayala pitched in 28 games for the Twins. Didn't pitch that poorly or particularly well. 1-2 mark. Here's Willingham with 2 gone in the Twins' 6th. Strike 1. Willingham walked and scored last inning. Lace down the left field line. Willingham might have extra bases. Digs for second. Here's the throw, and he's in. So a 2-out double for Josh Willingham will get Morneau to the plate.
Good hustle and gamble by Josh Willingham. Again, with 2 outs, it's a good gamble to make it a close play at second. Ball, they're trying to pitch him away, but that ball was out. It was up in the strike zone where he's better. But Josh starts right away. He knows he's with 2 outs. You've got to try to get to second if you can.
Morneau won't have a chance. He'll be walked to get Plouffe to the plate. So as the Twins issued a walk to Hardy to get the lefty-lefty matchup. Now Morneau walks, and Ayala will face a right-handed batter in Plouffe, who hit a little dribbler in front of the plate. Plouffe was the first man Ayala faced last inning.
Now we look again at the hot zone for Josh Willingham. You see away is good against him unless it's up and away, and that's where this pitch was, right up in that 400 zone. That ball down 6 inches, and he doesn't do as well 6 inches more than that, and he's really not good low and away, nor are most of the rest of us. But up there, up and out over the plate like that, very, very good. Ayala just threw it in the exact wrong spot for being away from it.
Snap bat. Reynolds over to make the catch on the warning track. So Plouffe gone quickly again against the veteran Ayala. Stranding 2 men aboard in the 6th. tied at 4.
And in the first inning with Markakis on third, Samuel DeDuno throws a wild pitch for the first run. And then in the fifth, after DeDuno walked 2 guys, Adam Jones bombs one to right for a 4-1 lead. But Ryan Doman and Brian Dozier come back with RBI singles to tie the game right back in the 5th inning. And that's where we are right now in the top of the 7th, tied 4-4.
Alex Burnett comes in to start the 7th inning. Burnett was ready to pitch to Adam Jones in the 6th if need be, but Tyler Robertson struck out Thome. So the bases are empty, nobody out, and Burnett seems like a rarity. He gets to start an inning. Jones homered on the first pitch he saw his last time up. He swings away again and fouls it to the screen. Thome had just drawn a walk, and Samuel DeDuno threw something out over the middle of the plate. Jones lofted it into the seats in right field. Swing and a miss now. Burnett has become, out of the bullpen, a 3-pitch pitcher. Fastball, slider, and the slower curve. An occasional changeup if you want to make him a 4-pitch pitcher.
He's got good stuff. He's got a good moving fastball, and I think that there's a good example of it right there. Threw the ball by Adam Jones. He just got a piece of it to stay alive, but with the addition of that slow curveball that you're talking about, I think that makes him a completely different pitcher out there, and much more effective. Just the notion in hitters' minds that he might throw that changes the complexion of their at bat against a pitcher like Burnett.
To center, and Span goes back a few steps. So he threw him 94 and then got him to fly out at 84, 1 down. Bernard Span and Ben Revere are both center fielders, but Revere's been in right with Span in center. How do they feel about their roles, and how do they work together? Read Tyler Mason's story at foxsportsnorth.com. There's Matt Wieters, a walk and a single so far. Wieters takes a strike.
Well, I don't want to see Matt Wieters complain about that. That's that little backdoor slider that his guys got our guys out on. You know, take your medicine. That's a good pitch.
And sharply up the middle, a base hit. So we've seen Burnett with his 3-pitch arsenal throwing more and more off-speed pitches, and Wieters was waiting for that one for a while.
Look at this. I think this is the same pitch. Yeah, he might have just set Joe and Alex up here, complaining about the first one and then looking for it and getting the base hit on the same pitch. That one had a little bit more of the plate than the first one.
Fox Tracks brought to you by Carrier. Orioles have scored 4 times. They've left 8 men on. The Twins have scored 4 times. They've left 11 men on. And here's Mark Reynolds. There's a dribbler to short. Could be 2. 1, 2. Good job by Burnett. He gets the ground ball double play and faces just 3 men in the inning. Baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by McDonald's. Quench your thirst. Get any size soft drink or sweet tea for just $1. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible.
Good job by Alex Burnett. Twins bullpen asked to pitch most of this game again. How many times have we said that this year? And how many times have we said this too? Bullpen's done a pretty good job so far.
They certainly have, and as they have all season long. And as you were talking earlier, Dick, about the ineffectiveness of the starting staff, how much better would the bullpen have been, to your point earlier, if the starting staff had pitched anywhere close to the normal amount of innings that a starting staff would have worked so far this year? That would only have made the bullpen better.
Good night for Ryan Domit so far. He's got a couple of hits, a couple of runs batted in, a run scored. He'll lead off the 7th inning. Luis Ayala out there for another inning's worth of work. The Orioles yesterday, really, speaking of bullpens having to overwork, the Orioles didn't get one inning from their starting pitcher last night. Buck Showalter had to use people he had no intention of using just to get through the game. So Ayala winning some points here by finishing up the 5th, pitching through the 6th, and now he's starting the 7th inning. One strike. We mentioned when Domit faced Ayala the first time, he delivered a 2-run single. And Domit has had 5 productive plate appearances against Ayala with 3 hits, 2 doubles, a walk, and a sacrifice fly. This one bounced into the shift. Flaherty has it. Low throw, and Reynolds hangs on. Wow, Reynolds barely had that ball squeezed in his glove. One away. Matt Capps being put on the disabled list. Nick Blackburn will be recalled from AAA, where he had been pitching very effectively. Capps pitched last night in the 9th inning. There's some inflammation in the rotator cuff. He'll be shut down now and be further examined. A tough break for Matt Capps. He's all he wants to do is pitch, and his shoulder won't let him do that right now. Dozier with an RBI single his last time up. Ball 1. Deep down the left field line. Foul. Dozier gave it a ride. He's got 4 home runs and made a bid for a 5th.
Good swing by Bryant. He's got a lot of life in his bat. He really does. He has fast hands. Watch this ball tailing in. He throws his hands in the big end of the bat. That's a hard ball to keep fair. Look how close it comes to hitting that fair pole. Just missing it. That pitch running in so hard on your hands like that is very hard to keep fair. It's one thing for a straight fastball inside. You can keep that one fair much more easily than one that continues to saw in there and under your hands.
1-1. And now strike 2.
Ayala's been very effective inside to right-handers so far tonight. He's gotten Trevor Plouffe twice. Sneaky fast on that with that movement inside to right-handers.
Well, even when he pitched for the Twins, he was one of those guys. It said they have a heavy ball. I mean, the ball sinks at the end. Sometimes you can even tell the way the catcher catches it. The glove shoots down. This one hit to right center field, and Markakis chasing it and making a nice running catch for out number 2.
Good at bat by Brian. He put a charge in an inside fastball down the left field line, then stayed with a slider and hit it to right center, just the way you'd want to see a young guy do it. Just wasn't lucky enough to get it past Markakis there, but he's good at bat.
Forget what you saw last night. One of the reasons the Orioles have been above 500 all year long is they've had a very good bullpen. The Twins just had one of those nights where they were going to score against everybody, and they did against the Baltimore bullpen. Carroll takes a strike. Ayala's been a guy who go 1, maybe 2 innings, but rare for him to pitch in 3 different innings. This is his 13th plate appearance of his appearance. Up the middle and off the glove. Benamit strides in, has no play. Carroll with an infield hit. And Ayala a little frustrated. He didn't glove that ball. Got it off the wrist, it looked like. So another base runner for the Twins. They've scored 4 of them, but again, they've left 11 men out there. Here's Span. Span left 2 men aboard in the 5th with 2 out. He was called out on strikes by Ayala. A high fly down the right field line. And in the seats. We saw Denard do that last night in the first inning in his 2nd at bat of the first inning. Pretty aggressive on the first pitch, and he cracked a 3-run double. It looked like he wanted to pull one out on that first pitch.
Well, he was looking for a fastball down there in his and maybe a little bit in the zone he wants. He'd seen Ayala the time before. Ayala got him out with backdoor outside pitches, and so Denard was looking for something from the middle in that he could drive, score the run from first base. Almost got it.
A slice foul the other way. 2 strikes. See if Carroll has any thoughts of taking off here. Wieters the Gold Glove winner last year in part because he's got a good throwing arm. Carroll in the season 6 steals and 9 tries. To see whether the Baltimore bench wants to call maybe a pitch out or a throw over. Two strikes to Span. Fastball away.
I would think this combination here with Ayala and Wieters would be tough to run against. I think Ayala reasonably quick enough to the plate, and if you give Wieters a chance, you're not overly slow to the plate. He's, as you say, he's got a good arm and an accurate arm. Throws out base stealers pretty well. I like the idea of getting Jamie Carroll started. Maybe he can score on a longer single or a sure double.
Looked like he was ready to go. He took 3 or 4 strides towards second base and then pulled up.
Yep. Couldn't tell if he was faking that or if he really was trying to time the move.
Sometimes don't runners do that, and then when they see the pitcher slide step, they'll pull up?
Yes. Yeah, he was trying to time the Ayala's move to the plate when he picks his leg up. Now Ayala will quicken that up a little bit with a slide step, but
1-2 to Span. Bouncer toward the hole, backhanded by Hardy. Low throw, past Reynolds. Carroll goes to third. He'll hold up there, and Span holds his ground at first base. So Hardy made a nice backhanded pickup, but his throw well short of first base on the fly.
And that's what speed will do. Denard runs real well down the line. He hit the ball to the shortstop's backhand. JJ makes a nice play to catch and throw in a hurry, but the hurry part threw the ball in the dirt, and Reynolds could not pick the throw.
They're going to give Span a base hit and charge Hardy with an error, allowing Carroll to go to third base.
It's really the only way a shortstop can make that play. If you take any more time than that, you're not going to get the speedy Bernard Span going down the line.
Good outing for Ayala, and he'll come out with Revere due up next. Game of 1 and then tied the game at 4.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Pedro Strop was part of a hard-throwing Texas bullpen last couple of years. Picked off on waivers by the Orioles, and he comes in now having a very good year. And he comes in to face Ben Revere. Go-ahead run at third. 2 away, bottom of the 7th. At the knees, a strike. Where the Rangers find all those hard-throwing relievers, starting pitchers.
A lot of good arms in that organization.
Strop, a former position player, turned into a pitcher back in 2006. 1 strike to Revere. And now 2 strikes. So Strop's stingy. Opponent batting average on the year. Revere trying to get a base hit here. Flare one someplace if need be. You get Carroll in from third. Twins have 2 2-out hits. Looking for a third. Just 1 home run allowed by Strop in nearly 40 innings pitched. Two. 98 miles per hour.
Yeah, he's rushing it up there. The kid's got a great arm. There's no question about that.
Revere 0 for 4. Now Wieters giving some signs. In the event Span takes off. Revere had a 4-hit night last night.
Buck Showalter making sure that they have the defense set correctly. This is a situation, 2 strikes and 2 outs, first and third, where oftentimes managers will start the runner on first, trying to steal a run if they think that the hitter's in too big a hole with 2 strikes.
Ooh. And foul between Carroll and Steve Little. 1-2 to Ben Revere. Drive to right. Down for a hit. Revere delivers, and the Twins have their first lead.
Well, good hitting by Ben Revere. I will never understand that pitch as long as I live. Guy throwing 98 miles an hour has Ben Revere's bat over here over the Oriole dugout, and then slops a little nothing slider right in the middle of the plate. Says, here, Ben, I don't think you hit my 98 mile an hour fastball, but you can probably hit this one. Good job hitting by Ben, but that's just a real questionable pitch selection and certainly location. But even with the location being bad, I just question the selection there. The guy throwing that hard.
And now Mauer. Line foul, 1 strike.
See, when you get a guy's bat going that direction, you're just doing him a favor by throwing him something softer. You speed his bat up and get him into the field of play.
We saw that happen in the Rangers series with Michael Young in the Sunday game. 1 strike, stroke to Mauer. Up and away, 1-1. So the first 2 outs came easy for the Orioles here in the 7th inning. Then Carroll got his infield hit. Remember, it was just a 1-hopper off the wrist of the pitcher. And Span got an infield hit. There was a throwing error on J.J. Hardy. Revere with a humpback liner to right. Just like that, the Twins lead 5-4. Down and away. At 98, 2-1. Span at second. Revere to first. A lot of speed out there. Bauer lines it into left field. Span around third. He's coming home. And he'll score. 4 straight 2-out singles. And a 2-run lead for the Twins.
Another classic stroke by Joe Mauer. Getting a pitch in the middle of the plate, lining it to left field. You're not going to get him out on that pitch ever. A ball right in the middle of the plate right there. That's right in his hot zone wheelhouse. But you know, Joe's seen 3 pitches before that one. All of them fastballs. He knows the speed, and he also knows, based on Revere's base hit on the bad slider the time before, he's going to get another fastball. He doesn't have to worry about that breaking ball. I think he and I both would have been shocked if he saw anything but fastball. So Joe could sit on it, wait till he got one in the middle of the plate, and drive in another run.
Inside to Willingham, ball 1. Willingham delivered a 2-out double his last time up, was left at second base. That one hit the corner. Stroke has come inside with a couple of breaking balls to Willingham.
Yeah, different deal with the right-hander, facing a right-hander than it was the left-hander, especially Revere, who was slapping the ball way foul out, that 98-mile-an-hour fastball. You can't just throw all fastballs to Josh Willingham, and right-hander to right-hander, a little bit more vulnerable on a breaking ball.
Fastball down and away.
Real close pitch. Probably a strike. Good take actually by Willingham, as we saw on the hot zone, that he's got a very low batting average on that ball down in that zone, so no sense swinging at it there.
Dug out by Wieters, 3-1 with Morneau on deck. As we detailed last night, Stroke brought in here to face Revere and Mauer, 2 left-handed batters. The Orioles have just one left-handed reliever, Troy Patton, and he pitched an inning last night. Most teams that have faced the Twins have had 3. Some have even had 4 left-handed relievers. Orioles don't have that. 3-1 to Willingham. Oh, he took it for ball 4. So Morneau will come up facing the right-hander Stroke. And Rickadere to the mound. 4 singles and a walk, all with 2 outs. Morneau's drawn 2 walks, the most recent an intentional walk in the 6th.
The challenge for Justin Morneau right here is going to be to get the pitch that he wants and not be too anxious. Pretty good chance of getting fastballs here to hit. The challenge will be for him not to offer up balls that are out around the perimeter of the zone early in the count. See if he can make this guy throw the fastball in the heart of the plate where he wants to hit it.
Maybe get himself in a real favorable count.
Right.
Justin's been very eager early in the count.
That's the one I'm talking about. You know, it's just like he wants to swing it up there, but I think that's not exactly the pitch he wants. 97 quite that high right now. Hard to lay off that pitch with the bases loaded. That's just a tough pitch to handle.
See, it's really across the letter.
Yeah, it's
out of the strike zone.
And that's what I was referring to. He's just a little anxious right now.
And now a foul into the seats. 0-2.
See, if he takes the first one, he's 1-0, and he might be able to be just a little bit more aggressive on that one. He was sick at himself right there for missing that pitch. That was the one he wanted, and he fouled it away.
2 strikes. When Justin won the league MVP in 2006, and when he was perhaps on his way to another MVP award a couple of years ago, he was the king of the bases clearing doubles. And the image I'll always have of Justin is driving the ball to left center in situations like this. Pulls it on the ground from short right field. Flaherty, and Reynolds backhands it out of the dirt. Big play by Reynolds at first base. The Twins leave 3 more. They've left 14 men on, but they do take the lead in the 7th. Not been the case, but it has been a showcase for Joe Mauer and his talents here tonight.
Well, he's done just about everything that you can do as a catcher, including this terrific play, bouncing out of the catcher's box to make a great diving catch in a big situation to keep the runner from moving up to second base, the potential go-ahead run. Terrific play.
He looked like Ben Revere. Horizontal to the ground.
He's also blocked some really, really tough pitches in the dirt to keep runners from advancing, and he's gotten 3 hits, including the last one, a big RBI single in the bottom of the 7th to put the Twins up by 2 going to the top of the 8th, and it's Glenn Perkins' time.
Chris Davis, first man he faces, and Perkins moves him off the plate, ball 1. With Matt Capps not closing for the Twins anytime soon, he's been put back on the disabled list. All along, Ron Gardenhire has said, you know, we're going to play it by ear. Some nights it might be Glenn Perkins closing, bounced up the line foul. Other nights it might be Jared Burton. Now you look at the hitters the Orioles have, and you think about who might be up in the 9th inning, even though you've got to get the outs in the 8th. And you've got Adam Jones, their most potent home run hitter, a right-handed batter who the Twins hope they won't have to face until the 9th inning. Hardy also dangerous.
Well, the reason manager Ron Gardenhire is going this way is you've got a left-hander right here and Chris Davis here in the 8th inning. Then you've got Wilson Betemit, who's will hit right-handed against him, but is not as good a right-handed hitter as he is a left-handed hitter. Then you've got Flaherty, for whom they'll pinch hit. They'll probably bring in the right-hander Pierce or someone like that. Then you're back to Markakis as a left-hander. Then Perkins just blows away Chris Davis. And this is Glenn Perkins' job, especially in an inning when he's going to get a majority of left-hand hitters. You got to punish the left-handers when they come in there, and that's what he did to Chris Davis. No chance. He had no chance that at bat. But as I was saying, now you've got Betemit, who's a switch hitter, but not as good, really not good at all lately against left-handed pitching. Then you've got a pinch hitter for Flaherty, most likely. And then you're back to the left-hand hitting Markakis. So if you're going to use both Perkins and Burton, you use the left-hander against these left. I mean, it sets up perfectly. Right. Then you've got right-handers coming up after that, and you can go to Burton in the 9th.
1-1. Betemit with a pair of singles in the ball game, both of those hits as a left-handed batter. And the numbers pretty revealing. Betemit coming into play today hitting a left-handed, 281 and 182 right-handed.
Right, so he's like facing a left-handed hitter up here for Glenn Perkins. You know, so he got the 2 lefties in a row, and that's why Gardy went that way. But my goodness, does Perkins have good stuff tonight. Holy cow. He's throwing 96, 97. He's throwing it for strikes. His slider is biting hard in the zone. You'll see every once in a while Glenn Perkins come in and have good stuff, but not quite the command where he's a little bit wild with a fastball. He can't quite find the slider perfectly. So far tonight, he's been just lights out. I mean, it just looks like he's just totally in command. There you go.
2 strikeouts to start his night. Twins and Orioles wrap up the series at 12:10 on Thursday. It's a Sports Authority value pack game. You can get a ticket in the U.S. Bank Home Run Porchview section. Get a free Schweigert hot dog and Pepsi. Call 800-33-TWINS. Visit twinsbaseball.com. Check out all the options for Thursday's ball game at Target Field. Steve Tollefson hitting for Flaherty. Strike 1.
Well, when you're throwing 96, 97, then you come back with this one. A hitter just trying to catch up with a fastball, and he doesn't take time to recognize that slider. Slider's in a perfect position for a guy trying to pull the ball a little bit slower down underneath the zone. Perfect.
Yeah, breaking ball missing.
Yeah,
Taken. Looked like a pretty good pitch.
Did look like a good pitch. I don't know how you could ask him to throw a slider in a better spot than that. Well, again, I don't know as a hitter why you take the first one and swing at the second one. I mean, if you're not going to swing at that first one, I don't know why you swing at that one. But
Tollison, the son of Wayne Tollison, who played against Wayne with the Texas Rangers. 1-2. That is a live ball. That's strike. No, Mauer's reacting like it's strike 3. Tollison saying it was a foul tip. And here comes Buck Showalter to argue. Tollison claiming he foul tipped the ball out of Mauer's mitt, but Mauer reacted like it was a live ball. So Perkins ends up striking out the side.
Behind to take a 6-4 lead here over the Baltimore Orioles. We head to the bottom half of inning number 8. And as always, our coverage does not end with the final out. We keep going with Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We'll talk about the back-and-forth battle tonight between the Twins and the Baltimore Orioles. And we'll get Ron Gardenhire's post-game comments tonight in our instructional with our experts, our cast and panel of experts featuring Roy Smalley and Ron Coomer. Tonight we'll talk about first base defense. Ron Coomer, an infielder, is pretty much his entire career. Roy Smalley as well. We'll talk about defending first base and how to play that position. Roy, what can we look forward to in that instructional on Twins Live tonight?
We're going to talk mostly about catching the ball thrown to you in the dirt over there at first base. We've seen some examples of that.
Well, as Robbie was getting ready for his report, he almost got hit in the coconut by a throw during, between innings infield that got by Reynolds at first base.
Well, we're talking about catching the ball at first base. We're going to show you how not to kill one of your broadcast partners.
1-1 to Trevor Plouffe. Ryan Doumit will hit next, and then Brian Dozier. There's a chopper to Hardy. And a stretch by Reynolds, one away. There's Robbie Inzmakowski getting ready for his report on first base defense.
That one came sailing in and hit the camera of the Baltimore Orioles feed as Mark Reynolds tried to one-hop a warm-up throw.
Oh, Robbie, that was funny because it missed you. If it had hit you, it wouldn't have been nearly as funny. It still would have been funny.
Pretty funny.
It wouldn't have been nearly as funny.
I think it would have been really funny. Because if it had hit him, we'd have seen even more reaction. That would have been really great. Robbie, that ball didn't even look close.
No, it was a couple feet ahead of me, but when you see it coming out of the corner of your eye and you see Mark Reynolds trying to dig one out, that's generally not good when you're between innings, guys. You're paying attention during the game. Between innings, not as much.
2-0 to Ryan Doumit. Doumit delivering a big 2-run single in the 5th inning when the Twins tied it up. Adam Jones had just hit a 3-run home run, and the Twins came back with a sequence of walks and singles and tied it up, and then took the lead in the 7th with pretty much the same combination. Domet takes a strike, 2-1. 41 runs batted in now for Domet. And with 2 hits tonight, a batting average of .291.
Ryan's really been a terrific addition to the Twins club, and hitting in the middle of the lineup in RBI positions a lot, hitting 6th and 7th. You get a lot of chances to drive in runs at those spots, and he's really gotten some huge hits and some big 2-out hits as well. It's hitting very well with runners in scoring position.
Sky to left, and Davis makes the catch, out number 2. Now, we shouldn't be surprised at Domet's batting average. He is a .271 career hitter, but he's had a couple of years where he's hit over 300. In the big leagues in 2008, 431 at bats, and he had 318. So he's an accomplished hitter. Brian Dunsing in the bullpen. Jared Burton also warming up down there. A left-handed batter and a good one. Nick Markakis will lead off the 9th. With Nick Blackburn being recalled, it is assumed that Blackburn will take over the rotation spot held briefly by Brian Dunsing. And the Twins apparently will have 3 left-handed relievers. The co-closer Perkins, Robertson, who did well here tonight, and Dunsing. 2-0. This down the right field line, chased by Reynolds. And Reynolds tumbles into the crowd. Did he make the catch? Yes! What a great play by Mark Reynolds. He caught it right at the fence and spilled over the railing. A tremendous play by the Baltimore first baseman. Been a good ball game for the Twins. They trailed for a good part of the first part of the ball game. Now have a 6-4 lead as we go to the 9th inning. Glenn Perkins still out there facing Nick Markakis. And Markakis just on fire. Markakis now with 6 hits and a walk in 10 plate appearances. All the hits have been singles, But a leadoff hit here against Perkins in the ninth. And now Hardy, Thome, and Jones. And Ron Gardenhire is going to come out and bring Jared Burton in.
Perkins made a real good pitch. He got in on Markakis. He's just, as you say, Dick, he's just hot. When you're hot, the ball falls in. That's the pitcher won that battle. He got way below the trademark there, but Markakis good enough and strong enough and hot enough right now just to muscle that ball in the left field.
So Hardy will face Burton. And J.J. Hardy will face Jared Burton, Jim Thome, Adam Jones, Matt Wieters. That's the middle of the Baltimore lineup, and Burton's going to try to face as few of them as possible.
Well, as we said, Ron Gardenhire had what he wanted in the 8th inning with Glenn Perkins against mostly left-handed batters or right-handers that didn't hit particularly well against left-handers. Now he's got the right-hander against J.J. Hardy, who's very, very much better against left-handers, not good at all, below 200 against right-handers. He has to get through Jim Thome, but then he has Adam Jones right on right, and Matt Wieters, the switch hitter, who's very much better against left-handed pitching than right-hander. So, with the exception of Thome, Gardy's got it matched up pretty much the way he wants, and Thome is the exception, isn't he? I mean, how do you know what pitcher to run out there against him? So, I think, again, Gardy's playing the percentages and doing the best he can.
The last time this sequence of hitters came through, it was the 6th inning, and it seemed like the 9th. J.J. Hardy was intentionally walked, and Jim Thome struck out, leaving 2 men aboard. And now with a man aboard, Hardy will hit, and Thome will follow. Hardy 1 for 3 with the intentional walk in front of Jim Thome in the 6th. Strike 1 to Hardy. Hardy trying to fight through one of the worst slumps of his career. You can see the splits. Strike on the outside corner. And Hardy looks back at Brian O'Nora.
Again, pitcher's pitch right on the corner or just off. He gets the call. It's right there. Could go either way. That's the 0-2 pitch you want right there.
Two strikes to J.J. Hardy. Bouncer up the middle. Should be 2. A nice stretch by Morneau, and Burton gets a double play ground ball.
Made great pitches on him, 3 in a row. He had to swing at that after the umpire called that second pitch a strike. Now watch Dozier going to his left, step on the bag as you throw, easy double play. Could not have worked out any better for the Twins than Jared Burton and manager Ron Gardenhire, the way he set up the rotation.
And it makes all the difference in the world in how you approach this at bat. It's a 2-run lead. Burton misses the inside corner.
I would just tell you the thing that is so impressive about Jim Thome his whole career is that he has the discipline to lay off pitches he doesn't want to swing at and wait for pitches he does. He is just amazing at that. Ron Coomer and I were talking about, one of the things that Coomer was talking about, how great Thome is throughout late here in his career, is he's being able to maintain his flexibility in his upper body to continue home runs. I marvel at how he continues to just only swing at balls in the middle of the plate that he wants to swing at. He just won't swing it. He just won't swing it.
Now Burton threatening to create another dicey situation with Jones on deck. 3-0 to Thome. He has not put a ball in play tonight. Thome hasn't. He has struck out twice and walked twice. At the knees. Thome draws his 3rd walk. And that'll bring up Adam Jones. Said it was the 6th inning, seemed like the 9th. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game provided by Tyler Robertson.
Tough duty for the young rookie against a future Hall of Famer. He makes an unbelievable 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball on the outside corner to strike out the big man. And really was probably the pitch of the game.
Now Jones representing the tying run.
Until right now.
Way out in front of that changeup. It might have been the pitch that induced the double play grounder.
Yep,
it was. Hardy.
Same pitch, almost same location. Hardy's was a little bit lower. That was a strike actually. Jones looking for a first ball fastball, trying to drive it out of the ballpark. Great pitch. And pitch selection by Burton and Joe now.
That's a breaking pitch down and away. 1-1. Jones hit a 3-run home run in the 5th inning to give the Orioles a very brief 4-1 lead.
We showed the hot zone for Adam Jones before the first game of this series. My recollection is that he's real good on balls in the middle of the zone, and you can pitch him around the perimeter. Burton's trying to show him all the way right now.
And Jones waves at another changeup.
Yeah, he's really, there it is right there. You can see that anywhere around the perimeter except right through the middle of the zone, outside, middle, or inside, but just about anywhere else. And Burton's done a good job of keeping the ball down and keeping the ball away.
2-2, Burton to Jones. Got him. Jared Burton gets a ground ball double play and a strikeout of Adam Jones. And the Twins have won the first 2 games against the Orioles.
Great pitch into the hot zone. Weaknesses of a real good hitter. Jared Burton gets the final out and the Twins a win.
Anthony LaPanta, you simply can't ask a bullpen as overworked as it has been to do any better than what this Twins bullpen did here tonight.
They were very good. We'll show you how they slowed down the Orioles the back half of the game. We'll hear from Ron Gardenhire. Our instructional will show you how to defend at first base, and we'll look at a big night for Joe Mauer. All next on Twins Live.